One day in history, someone asked God, give me a home where the buffalo roam, and thus God made McAlester. Hello, everyone, and welcome to, as we are way too hot on YouTube right there. There we go. Welcome to Mike Deak Field in McAlester, Oklahoma. I'm your voice of the Buffaloes, Brandon Green, as we're getting ready for a district doubleheader matchup, our second district matchup. First one was with Midwest City, this one with Tulsa Rogers. Both teams that we're playing, both have been doubleheaders because of the field being a little bit too wet over in Tulsa yesterday. So we will be playing at 4 and roughly 6:30 today. Make sure that you're tuned in for all the action, or better yet, if you're here in McAlester, come on out and watch the Buffaloes take on the Ropers here today. For game one, we're looking at 55-degree temperatures and wind gusting out the wazoo. It is blowing towards left center field at wind gusts at about 35 miles per hour. And the weird thing about today is that even though it might be a little bit chilly right now, especially with the wind chills that we have going on, it is going to be getting warmer throughout the night. We're looking at 65-degree temperatures as the high for today, but that won't happen until 11 o'clock tonight. We were looking at 55 degrees. When was the last time that you saw the temperature get warmer as you went on throughout the night? It doesn't happen very often. But here in the district standings, as we're looking at 5A3, it's early into the district schedule, but still this is what we're looking at. Sepulveda is at number 1. They are 3-0. Bishop Kelly is 2-0. Shawnee has the most wins in district play, but they do have a loss, so they are at number 3 at 4-1. McAlester is at 4 with a 1-1 record. Glenpool at 5 with a 1-2. Midwest City at 6 with a 1-2. Will Rogers at 7 with an 0-2. And Durant is sitting last right now at 0-4 in the district standings for 5A3. Looking at the McAlester Buffaloes coming back from the Broken Bow tournament that they had last week, again 6 days since they last played. Their last 4 games have been decided by 1 run. They lost to Bixby Friday before spring break in a 2-1 in a walk-off fashion. Coming right back around on Monday, they ended up beating Panama. They tried to make a comeback. They were up on Panama 4-0. Panama made it 4-3, but Seth Sam closed the deal. Ended up getting the 4-3 win. We went 9 innings with Cashin on Tuesday. 2-1 was the final score in that game as well in favor of the Wildcats. And then McAlester gets a bounce-back win on Wednesday, taking down the Stigler Panthers 8-7. That was in comeback fashion as well. So the Buffaloes, one thing I was really impressed with on Wednesday was their ability to get bats on the ball, because this year they've kind of struggled to get hits. They've averaged about 6 hits per game until Wednesday, when they put together 12 hits. 20% of McAllister's hits this season have come from 1 game, and that was against Stigler. So they're trying to keep on moving that into district play here today, because as we all know, when it comes to district games, it is the most important games that you're going to play on the schedule, because it determines what your playoff outlook is going to look like. Are you going to have an easier regional to get to the state tournament, or are you going to be hosting a regional? Are you going to be going to one of the top teams in the state? That's why these district games are so important. So the Buffaloes trying to take care of business here today in this doubleheader. Looking at the Will Rogers Ropers, they are 2-4-1 on the year. Yes, they do have a tie. They tied with Nathan Hale 7-7. It says in extra innings at OSSAArankings.com. They did tie. Don't know how that happened, but it did. But they do have 2 wins, which already matched their win total from last year. The Will Rogers Ropers only had 2 wins last year, going 2-23. Both wins coming against Nathan Hale, 5-1 and then 10-7. So far this year, they've had their big win against Nathan Hale, which ended up happening later on in the season, as they defeated them. Looks like that was 16-3. They've also lost to Mounds in 2A, 13-8. They finished, looks like, 4th in the Depew tournament, winning 17-9 over Class A Davenport, but losing 8-0 to number 19 in Class A, Porter Consolidated. And like we said, 13-8 to 2A Mounds. But the Will Rogers Ropers, they've had 2 games so far in district play. They lost to Bishop Kelly 18-0, but then they kept it close to Bishop Kelly, going a full 7 innings the next game, only losing 5-0 to the Comets. So Buffalo's got to be careful. Any team that you can play for a full 7 innings always has a chance to win, obviously, until the final last pitch and the final last out. So the Buffalo's trying to take care of business here today, like we were mentioning earlier. We're about to have the starting lineups be announced here in just a moment, as we have both our home plate umpire and our field umpire here in McAlester. So let's go ahead and let's announce the starting lineups while we do have them, and while we have the umpires out on Mike Deak's turf field, which thank goodness that we have turf field, or else we probably would not be playing here today with all the rain that we got overnight. Starting with the visiting team here for Game 1, you got the Will Rogers Ropers, 2-4-1 on the year, 0-2 in district play. Leading off, the shortstop, number 11, Oscar Murillo. Murillo at short. Batting second, the left fielder, number 12, Ethan Ballou in left field. Batting third, the third baseman, number 10, Victor Murillo at the hot corner. Batting cleanup, the pitcher, number 19, Jared Mulvaney on the mound. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 4, Brian Trevino behind home plate. Batting sixth, the center fielder, number 5, A.J. Forte in center field. In right field, batting seventh, number 17, Cody Whitelock in right field. Batting eighth, the first baseman, number 8, Pablo Torres at first. And rounding up the starting nine for the Ropers, second baseman, number 2, Adele Oropeza at second base. The Will Rogers Ropers led by John Yates, and a lot of people that are from Oklahoma and McAlester, they know that name. Not the same, obviously, but again, pretty ironic here for the Ropers being led by head coach John Yates. For the McAlester Buffaloes, 5-4 on the year, 1-1 in district play. Their wins against district opponents came from Midwest City as they lost 8-6, but then followed it up with a 13-0 run rule win. 1 through 9 looks like this. Leading off, the center fielder, number 10, Ethan Watkins in center field. Batting second, the pitcher, number 15, Seth Sam on the mound. Batting third, the shortstop, number 2, Caden Lesnow at short. Batting cleanup, the catcher, number 7, Ethan Gillespie behind home plate. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 8, Braden Phillips at first. Batting sixth, and at the hot corner, the third baseman, number 6, Gannon Mullins at third. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 11, Gunnar Hodgel in right field. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 1, Spencer Stinchcomb at second. And rounding out the starting nine for the Buffaloes, batting ninth, the left fielder, number 3, Jackson Lowerman in left field. Buffaloes, of course, led by head coach Justin Mullins, 5-4 on the year. We'll take a break. We'll have our national anthem coming up here in just a moment. You're listening to McAlester Baseball on KNED.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned, because I'm all about keeping my money in our town. I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted number 1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester is ready to make a deal. All 22-year model Gladiators in stock offer $2,500 cash back. All 22 Chargers and Challengers feature $3,000 cash back. Patriot has new 2023 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Laredos with $5,550 cash back. 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Limiteds in stock, $4,000 cash back. Yes, the best deal on a new vehicle is always at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester. Best Western Inn and American Lodge and Suites in McAlester are both locally owned and operated. Both offer clean and comfortable rooms at a great price. Best Western Inn and American are proud sponsors of McAlester Buffalo Sports, wishing the best of luck to all the players and coaches. Remember, when you need a clean, comfortable room at a great price, think Best Western Inn and American Inn Suites, both located on the 69 bypass in McAlester.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford here in McAlester, and it is Truck Month, and I am so pumped. We haven't had a Truck Month in over 2 years because we just didn't have any trucks. But for this Truck Month, we have specially marked F-150s with 0% for 48 months or 0.9 for 60 on all 22 model F-150s or 3.9% on 23 model F-150s, plus a great selection of used. So come see us while supplies last at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in beautiful McAlester, and let us make it happen for you.
Tire and Auto says come meet our new owner, Dylan Hackler. We're a Michelin dealer and we're stocked up with Cooper, Toyo, Hankook, and Max's Buckshot Mutters and Farm and ATV tires. Tire light on? We can fill your tires with nitrogen. We do brakes, alignments, struts, and oil changes too. You'll appreciate our fast, friendly service. All work's guaranteed and estimates are free. OK Tire and Auto, 801 North 1st, McAlester. Call 918-423-2121. Good luck, Buffs. Have a great season.
Do you think this is far enough? Customers aren't going to be able to make that. Did you say further? No!
Come shoot for your TTNL during Fenton Madness and a lot closer than Morgan.
Have you ever thought about playing college basketball? Too easy. Don't forget to tell them Maddie sent ya. Fenton Nissan is your best deal dealer. Learn more at FentonNissan.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, please
Welcome to Mike Deak Field here in McAlester, Oklahoma. We're just about to have the national anthem, so let's turn it down to the PA as we speak. All right, it's baseball time here in Oklahoma as the McAlester Buffaloes hosting the Will Rogers Ropers here for 2 games. It's a district doubleheader here at Mike Deak Field. So the Buffaloes today wearing their pinstripes. If you're listening on radio, again, pinstripe tops, pinstripe bottoms, all black caps with the gold interlocking MB on the front. For the Will Rogers Ropers, they are wearing their blue jerseys with white pants, and they're also wearing their gold little lines across their jerseys as well, as they have gold on the front of their hats, blue around it, blue bills, and they have a T that's sticking out in the front, and then they have the WR on both sides of the T on the front side of the hats. So the Buffaloes have taken the field, getting ready for district game number 3 of the 2023 season. Let's go ahead and look at the defensive alignment for the Buffaloes. You have Phillips over at first base, Stinchcomb at second, Lesnow at short, Mullins at third, Lauerman in left, Watkins in center, and Hodgel over in right field for the Buffaloes. The battery for the Buffs. Behind home plate, you have Ethan Gillespie, and on the mound, Mr. Seth Sam. Sam, so far this year, has been electric. He has a 2-1 record. The only loss that he has, he only pitched in 1 inning. That was not a full inning, and that was against Bigsby. And I don't even think the run that he gave up was earned. Maybe, not that one run that he gave up for the loss was not even on Seth Sam, but he still ended up recording the loss. That just has to go to somebody. He also has a save this year as well. 13 innings pitched for Seth Sam. He has a no-hitter already under his belt. He had that against Midwest City in Game 2 of the doubleheader a couple weeks ago. He has a 0.54 ERA, 24 strikeouts to 6 walks, and batters are hitting a collective .093 against him. So pretty dang good for Seth Sam to start off his senior campaign. We're about to have first pitch. It's brought to you by Big V Feed Center, always your best bet for your feeding program for all of your animals. Visit your Big V Feeds dealer in McAlester, Kiowa, and Chakota. As will be a lefty starting us off here today, Oscar Murillo, the shortstop number 11. Sam is ready. Murillo is ready. Here's the windup, and the first pitch of the evening is a fastball fouled backwards for strike 1, and it is baseball time in the Heartland. So count is 0-1 to begin our district doubleheader today. Again, second game set to begin around 6:30. Same with the count 0-1. Gives Gillespie the nod. Here's the windup and the delivery. Hard hit ground ball straight to the second baseman Stinchcomb. Fields it on the hop, throws over to Phillips in time for out number 1. Good piece by Murillo, but straight to the second baseman Stinchcomb.
Now batting the left fielder, Ethan Ballou.
Coming up, the left fielder number 12, Ethan Ballou. Looking at Seth Sam, last year he did pitch against Will Rogers, only pitched in 3 innings, struck out 8. 8 out of his 9 outs recorded was via the strikeout. He gave up no hits, walked 1 batter. So Ethan Ballou steps up to the plate, wide stance for the righty, slightly open. Here's the windup from Sam and the pitch. Shows bunt, pops it straight back, and that will be strike 1. And if you come over here to Mike Deak Field, you might see a little bit of a renovation going on over here. They are trying to fix the top of the stands over here behind home plate, replacing some cover. We've got the convertible down is what we have over here today. Here comes the windup and the 0-1 pitch. Curveball, nice pitch from Sam, called strike, and the count is 0-2. Ballou went 0 for 1 last year with a strikeout. in their games against the Buffaloes. Here comes the windup, and the 0-2 shows bunt on 0-2. Fastball misses the outside corner, and the count moves to 1-2. So with the 2-strike pitch, Ballou showed bunt as he's standing up in the box as well. Here comes the windup, and the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, got him looking, strike 3. Sit him down, throw it around, 1 or 2 down here in the top of the first inning as Sam gets him with the backwards K, and that brings up the third baseman, number 10, Victor Murillo. Murillo last year went 0 for 3 against the Buffs, reached on an E3, flew out to short, and grounded out over to second. So he never struck out. Back to the lefty here for the Rogers Ropers. First pitch to him, be a fastball up above the letters, and that would be ball 1. Sam was the only person, he was the only person that Sam did not strike out through the lineup. Here comes the 1-0. Hard hit ground ball to the shortstop. Les now fields it on the hop, throws across the diamond to first, in time for out number 3. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Mr. Seth Sam. We head to the bottom of the first inning. No score between the Ropers and the Buffs here on KNED.
For more than 50 years, First Realty has helped the residents of McAlester and the surrounding area with their real estate needs. Whether residential or commercial, First Realty will guide you through the process of buying or selling your home or business. You can view our property inventory online at first-realty.net. And if you're into pickleball, the Pickle Palace is open. For membership information, call 918-424-3720 or go to picklepalaceok.com. Since 1950. W.E. Alford Propane has been your source for propane and petroleum products, both residential and commercial. W.E. Alford Propane serves eastern and southeastern Oklahoma with locations in the Eufaula area, McAlester, Shakota, Wilburton, Hartshorn, and Muskogee, just to name a few. If you need propane or petroleum products, there's only one number to call, 918-423-3121. Call today. W.E. Alford Propane, serving the area for 70 years.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned, because I'm all about keeping my money in our town. I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC.
Patriot
Equal
Chrysler
Housing
Dodge
Lender.
Jeep and Ram in McAlester is ready to make a deal. All 22-year model Gladiators in stock offer $2,500 cash back. All 22 Chargers and Challengers feature $3,000 cash back. Patriot has new 2023 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Laredos with $5,550 cash back. 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Limiteds in stock, $4,000 cash back. Yes, the best deal on a new vehicle is always at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester.
Welcome back to McAlester, Oklahoma, as the McAlester Buffaloes facing off with the Will Rogers Ropers. It is 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Buffaloes trying to get on top of the Ropers here early. It'll be Watkins, Sam, and Les now, 1-2-3 for the Buffaloes. Looking around the diamond for the Ropers, it's Torres at first, Oropeza at second, Murillo at short, Murillo at third, Ballou in left, Forte over in center, Whitelock in right, and the battery for the Buffs, for the Ropers, is Trevino behind home plate and Mulvaney on the mound. Mulvaney a lefty for the Ropers against the righty Ethan Watkins. Watkins back in the box. Mulvaney comes set, and the pitch, as Watkins showed bunt, pulls back, called strike outside corner, and that's how this at-bat begins for Watkins. Watkins, 4 out of his 6 hits this year have been bunt singles. He's batting .300, and outside of his bunt singles, extra base hits, double and triple. The 0-1 to Watkins. Will be a fastball missing up high, and the count moves to even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Watkins had 1 plate appearance against the Rogers Ropers last year, grounding into a fielder's choice. That ended up going down 6-4. The 1-1 to Watkins. Watches a fastball miss outside, and the count gets ahead for the batter, Watkins. 2 balls, 1 strike. McAlester last year against the Ropers outscored them 34-1. They beat them 16-0 in the first game, 18-1 in the second. Two-one pitch is in the grounding this one over to the Will Rogers dugout. Looked like it hit the top of the bat Weird English on that ball, and the count moves to even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the wind is gusting out to center field. I'm telling you, all 3 flags, the McAlester baseball flag, Old Glory, and the State of Oklahoma flag, about to fly off over there. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fastball, they're going to say catch in the knees for strike 3. Gets Watkins looking, and that's a good start to the day for Jared Mulvaney. That brings up the pitcher number 15, Seth Sam. Sam batting .261 on the year with a .419 on base percentage. 3 out of his 6 hits have been extra base hits, including a pair of doubles in the Southeast Shootout in Broken Bow against Panama. First pitch to Sam. Going to hit this one off the top of the bat, going towards the center fielder. That is Forte, and it's going to drop in front of him for a 1-out base knock for Seth Sam. So Sam, a little bloop single right in between the middle infielders and the center fielder Forte. Forte played it safe there. Could have maybe went up to try to dive after it. But if it gets past him, Sam is going to go all around the base paths. So up to the plate now is Caden Lesnow, the shortstop number 2. Lesnow batting .346. He had a very good Southeast Shootout, going 4 for 9 with 2 RBIs. First pitch, Mulvaney will miss up and outside to Lesnow. The count is 1 ball, no strikes. Lesnow also walked twice. Trying to keep it going here this afternoon. The 1-0 pitch will miss way up high. Gets to the backstop. It'll be fielded by Trevino, but Sam's already standing on second base. So a runner in scoring position here early for the Buffaloes as Sam standing at second. Lesnow up at the plate. Lesnow with runners in scoring has the highest batting average with runners in scoring, batting .444. He's 4 for 9. With 7 RBIs, leads the team in RBIs, tied with Ethan Gillespie. The 2-0 is going to be cut on and missed for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike now to Lesnow. So Buffalo's trying to get on top of the Ropers here early. Ropers made pretty good contact against Sam back in the top of the first inning, but 2 groundouts to the middle infielders. Here's the 2-1 from Mulvaney. This one's going to bounce in the turf. Great job by Trevino keeping the ball in front and keeping Sam at second base. Hitters count, though, for Lesnow. 3 balls, 1 strike. On deck is Gillespie. This is a right-handed hitter's dream today over in McAlester, Oklahoma. The 3-1, Sam takes off for third. This one will be fouled straight back. Sam, make your way back over to second. Again, the reason why I say so is, again, we're having wind gusts around 35 miles per hour. The highest wind gust that I think I've called a game in was about 45 miles an hour. And I think if you just hit a pop-up in the infield, it got over the scoreboard. The count is 3-2 now to Lesnow. Mulvaney trying to get another punch out. He got Watkins to strike out looking to start off the bottom of the first. Here comes the 3-2 as Sam takes off again. This one's up and outside, gets to the backstop. Sam slides into third but doesn't need to, and Lesnow will take his base. Bringing up Ethan Gillespie. He's got a grand slam already on the year. Had that in the first game of the season. He's got runners at the corners with 1 down in the bottom of the first. No score. He's trying to change that. Leads the team in batting average, batting .409 with a .581 on base percentage. Like I said, tied for the team lead in RBIs with Lesnow at 7. First pitch. Be a fastball missing inside. That'll be ball 1. Gillespie batting .300 with runners in scoring over the tournament. Last week went 3 for 8 with an RBI. The 1-0 as Lesnow takes off for second. It's a pop-up in the infield. Lesnow's got to get back over to first base. This one might be trouble. It's going to land. It's going to take a big hop like a basketball. They'll throw over to second. Not in time. That is going to be an RBI single for Ethan Gillespie on a ball that just bounced past the infield turf. Have you ever seen a ball bounce that high off the turf before? It looked like a basketball. Heck, it looked like a tennis ball. But coming in to score is Sam, and the Buffaloes are up 1-0 as we have an early mound visit here for Coach John Yates and the Will Rogers Ropers. That is why you always got to be a little bit careful. Lesnow was in a little bit of trouble there, and Coach Dixon's going to go speak with him. Because if the catch is made, that's a chance for a double play to get Lesnow back out over at first base. And that could end the inning. But he was already almost to second base as he was trying to, I think, take off for second. I think he was stealing on that pitch. But he played it safe, kind of got his sprints in early here, ran all the way to second, all the way back to first, and then when he saw it bounce, sprinted back to second base. The Buffaloes have runners at first and second with one down. Buffaloes leading 1-0. As now we have up to the plate Braden Phillips. Phillips had a very good day against Stigler, going 3 for 4, leading the team in hits. On the season, Phillips is batting .375 with a .500 on-base percentage and 5 RBIs. He has runners at first and second with one down. Buffalo's leading 1-0. Mulvaney comes to a pause, kicks and fires the pitch. We fouled back, and that will be strike one. So anybody that's going to be sitting in the stands today, you got to be careful. There's going to be a pop-up back behind home plate. You might have a chance to not come home with a foul ball. You're going to have to return that to somebody. It used to be back in the day you could return it for a sucker at the concession stands. I don't know if that's still the case. Here's the 0-1 as 2 runners take off. This one will be fouled straight back as well, and we'll do it again at the count 0-2. Phillips went a combined 4 for 9 in the 3 games at the Southeast Shootout with an RBI. Last year against Will Rogers, he had 1 at-bat. He had multiple plate appearances, but 1 at-bat, hitting a double, going 1 for 1. He also had an RBI walk. He's got runners at first and second right now with 1 down, and the Buffs leading by 1. Here's the 0-2. Curveball that misses outside. And the count now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, chilly day today, but we encourage you to come on out. It's going to get warmer throughout the night. So you may not even need that blanket later on. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Mulvaney looks over at second base, kicks and delivers the 1-2. This one will be fouled straight back again. Phillips is on it. Phillips has had a lot of really good at-bats so far this year. He's a good batter. He has good vision. He's able to make contact and force pitchers to throw one down the heart of the plate for him to rip. He's had multiple pitches or at-bats that have gone towards the 10-pitch at-bat area. As here comes the 1-2, runners take off again. This one will be swung on and missed for strike 3. After fouling off about 4 pitches during that at-bat, Phillips strikes out, and they'll bring up Gannon Mullins. Mullins had a rough start to the season, but during the Southeast Shootout went 4 for 9, including going 4 for 6 in the final 2 days, with the RBI, with the game-winning RBI hit in the bottom of the 6th inning against the Stigler Panthers on Wednesday. First pitch to Mullins is a called strike, fastball up by the letters. Mullins with 1 RBI in the year. He's got runners at second and third. 3 out of his 4 hits have come with runners in scoring position, trying to get one here to put the Buffs up possibly 3-0. The 0-1, fastball missing up high. Mulvaney bringing a little bit more heat here during this at-bat. He's trying to fill the zone a little bit more after that walk to left now. But here to Mullins, he's delivered a little bit more velocity, it seems like, on his first 2 pitches. Here's the 1-1. This one will be cut on and missed on a good pitch down low for strike 2. And the count now 1 ball, 2 strikes to Gannon Mullins. Got Les now at third and Gillespie at second. Mulvaney, the 1-2. Fastball up high that gets past the catcher. Here comes Les now. The throw at the plate is not in time. Tumbling over and rolling like a barrel is Caden Les now, and the Buffaloes go up 2-0. A ball that just seemed like it went through the glove of the catcher, Trevino, as it'll be Gillespie taking third. And the count is now deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. With the score 2-0, Mullins up at the plate. Trying to stay hot here over his last couple games. The 2-2 is going to be a fastball catch in the inside corner for strike 3. So eventually, Jared Mulvaney ends up striking out all of his outs in the bottom of the first inning, but the Buffaloes do get 2 runs, as it is 2-0 as we head to the top of the second inning. McAlester leading here on KNED.
Best Western Inn and American Lodge and Suites in McAlester are both locally owned and operated. Both offer clean and comfortable rooms at a great price. Best Western Inn and American are proud sponsors of McAlester Buffalo Sports, wishing the best of luck to all the players and coaches. Remember, when you need a clean, comfortable room at a great price, think Best Western Inn and American Inn Suites, both located on the 69 bypass in McAlester.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Fort here in McAlester, and it is Truck Month, and I am so pumped. We haven't had a Truck Month in over 2 years because we just didn't have any trucks. But for this Truck Month, we have specially marked F-150s with 0% for 48 months or 0.9 for 60 on all 22 model F-150s or 3.9% on 23 model F-150s, plus a great selection of used. So come see us while supplies last at Sam Wampler's Freedom Fort in beautiful McAlester, and let us make it happen for you.
Buffaloes get on top of the Will Rogers Ropers 2-0 here early as we head to the top of the second inning. McAlester again leading. It'll be the middle of the order up for the Ropers: Jared Mulvaney, Brian Trevino, and A.J. Forte. For the Buffaloes in the bottom, the first to win: strikeout, single, walk, RBI single, strikeout, strikeout. The second run scored on a pass ball. So Seth Sam, with 25 strikeouts on the season, will toe the rubber and face another left-handed batter, Jared Mulvaney. This is the third one that he'll face out of the first 4 batters for the Ropers. Playing a little bit in on the infield turf is Mullins at third base. Here comes the first pitch to Mulvaney, the cleanup hitter, catching the outside corner for strike one. Mulvaney ended up going 1 for 4 against the Buffaloes last year, as he had the only hit for the Ropers in the 2 games, and that was a triple. Next pitch will miss the knees, and that'll move the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. He struck out twice to Seth Sam, grounded out to the pitcher, and then hit that triple in the second game, the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Big cut from Mulvaney, as the infield now backs up along the right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Some trash flying onto the field with all that wind. The 1-2 will miss the knees, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. But it's not even hitting the ground. The wind is blowing so hard, it's keeping this piece of plastic that looked like it was about to hit the turf. It's just flowing all the way towards the scoreboard. The 2-2. Popped it up left side. Looks like that wind's going to take it all the way to the walking track. And the count stays at 2-2. That's another thing we really didn't mention. We had 2 ground balls earlier. For a throw from really anywhere in the infield over the first base, that might be a problem. That might slow the ball down on its way over to first. The 2-2 will be a ground ball, third base side, rode the line until the last second. It'll be foul, and it still will be 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Jared Mulvaney. Yeah, if you're trying to throw from third base or shortstop or even second base on a close play at first, that ball might slow down because of the wind gusts that we're having today. Here comes the 2-2 from Sam. Changeup, got him swinging. There's the tag from Gillespie. Sit him down, throw it around. 1 down here in the top of the second inning. Changing it up with a changeup. He was going fastball, went with curve, and then went with a changeup, disguised it well like his fastball, and that will lead to out number 1. Brian Trevino, the 5-hole batter, catcher number 4, digs in as he'll watch the first pitch fill the zone with a fastball from Sam for strike 1. Back to the righties is Trevino, a righty for the Ropers. Here's the windup and the 0-1 pitch. Fastball, it's going to miss down below the knees, and they'll move the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Mary Martin listening in from the press box. Thank you, Mary, for tuning in. Let us know where you're listening from on Twitter at Buff Sports Radio. 1-1 pitch. Fastball chopper, third base side, fielded by Mullins easily, throws across the diamond to first in time for out number 2.
Now batting for Tulsa, the
and that brings up the center fielder, number 5, A.J. Forte. Forte was the leadoff batter last year against the Ropers. Ended up going 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. But again, it was a good day on the mound for Sam and Watkins and Lauerman. I believe even Leighton Bass pitched in those games too. Cale Prather started the second one. Tries to get a bunt down here, and it's going to be fouled straight back to move the count to 0-1. Forte, the 6-hole batter today. Buffaloes leading 2-0, top of the second inning, 2 down, nobody on. Here comes the windup and the 0-1 from Sam. Goes back to the changeup. This one bounces in. The count goes to 1-1. Trying to throw the timing off of some of the batters here of the Ropers. The windup from Sam. 1-1 as he shows bunt, pulls back, a fastball at the knees, called strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here to A.J. Forte. The pitch goes changeup again and got him swinging for strike 3. He was chasing after it low and outside, and that is another solid inning for Seth Sam, as that's going to lower that already 0.54 ERA even lower. Buffaloes leading 2-0 as we head to the home half of the second here on KNED.
For more than 50 years, First Realty has helped the residents of McAlester and the surrounding area with their real estate needs. Whether residential or commercial, First Realty will guide you through the process of buying or selling your home or business. You can view our property inventory online at first-realty.net. And if you're into pickleball, the Pickle Palace is open. For membership information, call 918-424-3720 or go to picklepalaceok.com. Since 1952, W.E. Alford Propane has been your source for propane and petroleum products, both residential and commercial. W.E. Alford Propane serves eastern and southeastern Oklahoma, with locations in the Eufaula area, McAlester, Shakota, Wilburton, Hartshorn, and Muskogee, just to name a few. If you need propane or petroleum products, there's only one number to call, 918-423-3121. Call today. W.E. Alford Propane, serving the area for 70 years.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned, because I'm all about keeping my money in our town. I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC.
Patriot
Equal housing
Chrysler
lender.
Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester is ready to make a deal. All 22-year model Gladiators in stock offer $2,500 cash back. All 22 Chargers and Challengers feature $3,000 cash back. Patriot has new 2023 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Laredos with $5,550 cash back. 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Limiteds in stock, $4,000 cash back. Yes, the best deal on a new vehicle is always at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field here in McAlester, Oklahoma. Overcast skies here in the 7-4-5-0-1. Buffaloes leading 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. It'll be the bottom of the order up for McAlester. Gunnar Hodgel, Spencer Stinchcomb, and Jackson Lauerman. Gunnar Hodgel digs in, batting on the year, .292 with a .393 on base percentage. As a little bit back in the box against the lefty Mulvaney. He comes set, and the first pitch from Jared. Showing bunt, Hodgel gets it down. It's a good one down the first base line. This will be trouble. It's going to be a base knock. Bunt single for Gunnar Hodgel. It forced the first baseman Torres to come after the ball, while the pitcher Mulvaney was going after it as well. And the second baseman Oropeza was late getting over to the bag, and even if he would have got to the bag in time, still perfect bunt there for Gunnar Hodgel, and the Buffaloes are on the base paths. Spencer Stinchcomb digs into the box. Another righty here for the Buffaloes. Again, all batters 1 through 9 righties for McAlester. Stinchcomb batting .280 on the year. First pitch, fouls this one over towards the Rogers dugout. No balls, 1 strike. Stinchcomb batted .300 during the Southeast Shootout with 2 RBIs. Those 2 RBIs coming on a big base knock in the bottom of the 5th inning to, I believe, tie the game against the Stigler Panthers when McAlester went down 6-2 in the top of the second. Pickoff over to first. Already taken off for second is Hodgel. The throw to second is not in time. Hesitation kills, and Gunnar Hodgel did not hesitate at all. He was going on movement there from the pitcher Mulvaney. As soon as he lifted up the leg, he was off for second. He's got the stolen base. So Stinchcomb here with a chance to drive and a run. He's got 5 RBIs on the year, batting .273 with runners in scoring. He's got an 0-1 count on him right now. Again, third baseman Murillo playing even with the bag. First baseman playing in over in the infield turf, as there's going to be a step off here by Mulvaney. And also over at first, Torres is kind of riding the line, so I would say that there'd be a big gap, but then again, the second baseman, Oropeza, playing a little bit closer towards the right field area. So a tiny shift over on the right side of the field. Here comes the 0-1. Be a fastball low outside. Count moves to even here for Stinchcomb at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, 1-1 here for Stinchcomb. First-year starter here for McAlester in his sophomore season. Started every game at second base, I believe. The 1-1 will miss down low and inside, and the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. On deck is Jackson Lauerman. Count 2-1. And we have a balk. Mulvaney balked, and that will move Hodgel over to third base. And the home plate umpire, again, whoever calls the balk usually does a good job of explaining to the head coach or the pitcher what he did wrong. The pitcher, Mulvaney, seems like he knew, and the head coach, I think I heard from the field mic, says, I know. I think he was just upset that he did balk. So the count is 2-1. Mulvaney coming set, and the pitch. This will bounce in the turf, backhanding it, and keeping it in front of him is Trevino. A hitter's count here for Stinchcomb at 3 balls and 1 strike. He's got a runner at third here with Hodgel. All McAllister's outs have been strikeouts so far, but they lead 2-0. 3-1. Fastball's going to be grounded left and in foul territory. The count moves back to full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. If you can put the ball in play, good things happen. McAllister found that out against Stigler. Forced him to make plays. Also found that out against Midwest City in the second game, as Midwest City, I believe, had 6 errors in that second game, leading to McAllister's 13-0 win. The 3-2 to Stinchcomb will miss low and outside, gets behind the catcher. Here comes Hodgel, and he'll stand across home plate to take a 3-0 lead. So a walk here for Stinchcomb, but a ball that got past the catcher Trevino led to a 3-0 lead here for McAllister, as that brings up Jackson Lauerman to round out the starting 9, the left fielder number 3. Got a runner at first and nobody out. Again, 3-0 our score. It's been 3 base hits for the Buffaloes, a single by Sam, a pop-up single by Gillespie that found its way behind the infield turf on a really tough play with that wind blowing. First pitch over to Lauerman, showed bunt, pulled back. It was low and outside for ball 1. Again, Lauerman looking for that first base hit. He's reached base a couple of times. He's also laid down a couple of sack bunts for McAllister, has elite speed at the plate. Pickoff over to first. Diving in safely is Stinchcomb. Again, Lauerman shows that during football season. Was one of the heroes of the opening day game for McAllister. Having a couple of touchdowns, including the game-winning touchdown. On 4th and 14, took a screen pass and went to the end zone to beat Broken Bow. Count 1-0 here to Lauerman. Pickoff over to first. It'll be caught. The throw over to second. Sliding in. He's safe. It's the second time that Mulvaney's been able to, quote-unquote, pick off a batter, but since McAllister's working on movement, they're able to use their speed to get over to second base. Again, McAllister, this is one of the fastest McAllister teams, 1 through 9 in the lineup, that I can remember in recent memory. I mean, every single batter brings a threat to steal. Count still 1-0 here to Lauerman with the runner at second and nobody out. Mulvaney looking over at second. He's going to spin and look and back in safely as Stinchcomb. No throw. It's the third time that Mulvaney has looked over at Stinchcomb, but McAllister's been running a little bit wild the first 2 innings. The 1-0 pitch. Showed bump, pulled back, and missed high and outside with the fastball, and the count is 2-0. And sometimes that can mess with the pitcher as well. When you're trying to throw a strike, when the guy's showing bunt, you know that they're sometimes giving you an out, but it's also different when it comes to McAllister. When you lay down a bunt, you're almost not really giving that defense an out because you're so fast down the first base line. Any bunt could be a bunt single. The 2-0 That time, Lauerman looked like he might be swinging away, but it's going to be a called strike on the fastball to move the count to 2-1. That's why sometimes you'll see people just hold the bat out in front like they're going to bunt, but then pull it back before the pitch is even thrown, just to mess with kind of the visual for the pitcher. Counts 2-1 here to Lauerman. Big lead by Stinchcomb. Here's the pitch. Showed bunt. It was down low. Stinchcomb got halfway between second and third. Decides to go back to the second base bag as it was a good dig by the catcher Trevino. And the count is 3-1 here for Lauerman as we'll switch out baseballs. It is turf field over here in McAlester, but that doesn't mean that it might not be wet in a few places. Count is 3-1. Mulvaney looks at second. Still a huge lead by Stinchcomb. Even bigger. Now goes back to the second base bag a little bit. Here's the 3-1. Shows bunt. Tries to get it down. It will be still fair. He barehands at the catcher Trevino. Throws over to first. It's going to go down as a sac bunt. But Lauerman thought that he got hit. That's what he's looking at. I'm looking over at Jackson Lauerman. He said when he bunted the ball, it bounced back up and hit him in the arm while he was still in the batter's box. And that's why he thought that it was a foul ball. And that will eventually go down as a 2-3 sac bunt and bring up to the plate at the top of the order, Ethan Watkins. So McAlester leading 3-0, bottom of the second inning with a runner over at third base, Spencer Stinchcomb. Watkins struck out looking his last time up. Watkins has 1 RBI on the year, but he doesn't get a lot of opportunities, as the first pitch will be a fastball low outside. Good pitch from Mulvaney to move the count to 0-1. He's only had 3 at-bats so far this year with runners in scoring. Buffaloes lead 3-0, bottom of the second, with Stinchcomb at third base. Another big lead for him. Here comes the 0-1. This will be fouled off to the right. The count is 0-2 on Watkins. I mean, Stinchcomb is looking at a good 10-foot lead over there at third base. Third baseman Murillo not really paying him any attention. Count 0-2. And the pitch, way too high, but a perfect bounce back to the catcher Trevino is going to keep Stinchcomb where he's at. The count is 1-2. I mean, that ball is back over to the catcher. Lickety split. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, doubleheader here today. This is the first game of the 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Watkins. The delivery. Swing and a miss, went with the off speed, and that's going to be another strikeout for Jared Mulvaney. Again, 4 out of his 5 outs have been strikeouts. The only one that hasn't been was that sac bunt by Lauerman. Seth Sam digs in. He had a shallow pop-up for a hit that landed in front of the center fielder Forte. He's got a runner at third with 2 down. Buffalo's leading 3-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Mulvaney delivers. This one will miss outside. Snagging at Trevino. Count 1-0. This is where McAlester got their production in the first inning. Single by Sam, walk by Lesnow, RBI single by Gillespie. So the 2-3-4 batters. 2 seniors and a junior in between. Here's the next pitch. That'll be a fastball catch in the inside corner, and the count moves to 1-1 here for Sam. Wind still blowing out to center field. Sam's already got plenty of strength to send one over the fence. Doesn't really need the wind, but he's got it today. The 1-1. Be a fastball missing outside. And the count now to 2-1. Buffaloes have already scored in the bottom of the second inning with a pass ball. Stinchcomb was able to swipe home. Excuse me, not Stinchcomb, that was Hodgel. Stinchcomb's currently over at third. The 2-1 from Mulvaney. Going to be popped up behind home plate and into the sea of concrete that we call the parking lot. The count's now 2-2. We have Mr. Todd Allen on the video camera today. Todd, how are you doing? You can use the mic if you want to.
I'm doing well. That's where my car was. So.
Hopefully you don't come back to a shattered windshield.
There you go.
2-2 from Mulvaney. Tries going back with the curveball. That's what he got Watkins to strike out on last time. That one missed up high, and the count is now full on Seth Sam at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Or do you have it at 2-2? I thought it was 3-2. Scoreboard has it at 3-1. Someone's wrong. I think I'm probably wrong. Here's the pitch. This one's going to bounce. It was 3-2, so, hey.
You were right.
A broken clock is right twice a day, and that time I was right. Sam's going to make his way over to first on a walk, and that brings up Caden Lesnow. So runners at the corners for the Buffaloes, leading 3-0 here in the bottom of the second inning. 2 down here for McAlester. This is their second time lineup. That's the third walk issued by Mulvaney. Mulvaney will come set and deliver. Sam immediately takes off for second. The pitch is a ball outside. That'll be defensive indifference. As Sam just showing off a slide there. The second baseman, I bet you Oropeza said, nice slide, man. And he gave him a thumbs up, and Oropeza was smiling as he makes his way back to his position. 1 ball, no strikes. Runners at second and third. The pitch to Lesnow is going to miss inside this time, and the count is 2-0. Buffalo's trying to put the ball in play, as 3 out of the 4 times they've done it, they've been able to reach base safely. The 2-0 going to be fouled back. The count is 2-1. Talking about putting the ball in play, I was watching a John Boy breakdown. If you don't know what John Boy Media is, it's a really cool media platform, and this guy, I don't know his actual name, but he goes as John Boy. And he breaks down baseball videos. And I'll probably talk about this in the next inning. The 2-1 will miss up high to move the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. But it teaches a lot of people that may not know a lot about baseball. And there was a game that I was watching. Well, I wasn't watching it, but John Boy was, where it was 8-6 in the bottom of the 8th inning. A team was down, but they came up to the plate. They were able to score 8 runs that inning. I'll tell you why that's crazy. As the 3-1 to Lesnow is going to miss up and outside, and that will load the bases. So a bases loaded alert for Ethan Gillespie, brought to you by Lindley's Paint and Body Shop. It's a full-service collision repair center and restoration shop in McAlester. As McAlester has the bases loaded with 2 down, score 3-0 in the bottom of the second inning. But this team that I was looking at, just to finish up the story, scored 8 runs. That's already a big deal, as they were down 8-6 to enter the inning. They scored 8 runs without having a base hit into the outfield. Bunch of errors, putting the ball in play, making the other team work. It led to them scoring 8 runs and taking a 16-8 lead after they're down 8-6. First pitch to Gillespie's a fastball, called strike. As there's a runner at every base, at every class. A sophomore at third, senior at second, junior at first for the senior Gillespie. Here's the 0-1. This one's going to skip into the catcher, Trevino, and the count's now even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Gillespie, I think this is his second at-bat with the bases loaded. His first one, well, we all know what happened on day 1. Sent one to the moon. It still has not been recovered. We're waiting on NASA to give us the word. Here's the 1-1. And this one is going to do the same thing. Watch out, my house, as this one's going to hit off the bottom of the wall. It's going to clear the bases, Gillespie rounding second, and he's going to be over at third standing up. It's a bases-clearing 3 RBI triple for Ethan Gillespie. If he pulls that one, that's leaving the yard. It looked really good off the bat, hit the bottom of the wall as it was going against the wind, opposite field, bounced off the bottom of the wall by the BMAC supply sign, and the Buffaloes are up 6-0 like that. We'll have a mound visit here with the infield as Braden Phillips will dig in. Make that 2 for 2 for Gillespie with 4 RBIs. Last year against Will Rogers went 4 for 4 with 5 RBIs. And get this, last year Gillespie also with the bases loaded had a 3 RBI triple. So did what he did last year, this year already. So big 2-out hit for Ethan Gillespie. McAlester is up 6-0 over the Ropers in the bottom of the second. Phillips with a chance to atone for a strikeout in his first time up, with the base knock here. First pitch to Phillips will miss up and outside, not far enough for Gillespie to be able to take home as it bounces straight back to the catcher, Trevino. Not a big backstop over here in McAlester, and once it hits that padding, if it hits it at the right spot, it's going to bounce right back over to the catcher. Yeah, now a lot of people know that I kind of live around the area. I was like, watch out my house. 1 ball, no strikes, and didn't even leave the yard. Come on. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be a fastball missing up high, and the count moves to 2-0.
You were complimented the other day, by the way, BG.
Is that right?
By Mrs. Lesnow.
Oh, thank you.
And she might be listening, so we thank her for listening.
Absolutely. Thank you. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. This one will bounce in the turf, and the count quickly goes to 3-0 here on Braden Phillips as the Buffaloes are trying to keep this 4-run second inning going. So 3-0 here to Braden Phillips. And came into the day batting .375. Here comes the 3-0 pitch to Phillips. This one will miss down low below the knees. It's another walk. So Mulvaney was filling up the zone pretty well until this inning. He did walk a couple batters, but after the strikeout to Watkins, it's gone walk, 3 RBI triple by Gillespie, and then walk, and that might be it for Jared Mulvaney. It looks like we're going to be having a pitching change. We'll take a break, and we'll be back here in just a moment on KNED.
Best Western Inn and American Lodge and Suites in McAlester are both locally owned and operated. Both offer clean and comfortable rooms at a great price. Best Western Inn and American are proud sponsors of McAlester Buffalo Sports, wishing the best of luck to all the players and coaches. Remember, when you need a clean, comfortable room at a great price, think Best Western Inn and American Inn Suites, both located on the 69 bypass in McAlester.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Fort here in McAlester, and it is Truck Month, and I am so pumped. We haven't had a Truck Month in over 2 years because we just didn't have any trucks. But for this Truck Month, we have specially marked F-150s with 0% for 48 months or 0.9 for 60 on all 22 model F-150s or 3.9% on 23 model F-150s, plus a great selection of used. So come see us while supplies last at Sam Wampler's Freedom Fort in beautiful McAlester, and let us make it happen for you.
Tire and Auto says come meet our new owner, Dylan Hackler. We're a Michelin dealer and we're stocked up with Cooper, Toyo, Hankook, and Max's Buckshot Mutters and Farm and ATV tires. Tire light on? We can fill your tires with nitrogen. We do brakes, alignments, struts, and oil changes too. You'll appreciate our fast, friendly service. All work's guaranteed and estimates are free. Okay, Tire and Auto, 801 North 1st, McAlester. Call 918-423-2121. Good luck, Buffs. Have a great season.
Welcome back to McAlester, Oklahoma. We have a pitching change. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Jet Tire Service. They offer over 18 major tire brands. See us in friendly Old Town or on jettire.net. Don't fret, call Jet. It's a straight switch as Jared Mulvaney goes from the mound over to first, and from first base to the mound goes number 8, Pablo Torres. So Pablo Torres, a righty now for the Will Rogers Ropers, is on the mound, and it will be for McAlester greeting him, Gannon Mullins, as Todd Allen will be making his way back to the house. Todd, thank you for your service. And Nate Brown will get the mic and assume control of the video board.
How's it going, guys?
Well, there's your mic. Now you can say, how's it going, guys?
How's it going, guys?
Runners at the corners with 2 down in the bottom of the second inning. McAlester leading 6-0 as Gannon Mullins struck out looking his last time up. First pitch to him nearly hits him as it misses inside for ball 1.
All right, well, give me a quick recap on what I missed.
If you're just now joining us, McAlester ended up getting 2 runs in the first inning off of a single, and then there was an RBI by Gillespie, a pop-up that landed right behind second base, about 10 feet just beyond the infield turf. But because of all the wind that we have, as this one's nearly an out on a pickoff attempt over to first, sliding back in safely was Phillips. But as he bounced in the outfield turf, I mean, with the wind blowing the way it was, not a can of corn. It's quickly found its way, and especially with how high Gillespie hit it for a base knock. McAlester got the run that way. Another one scored on a pass ball. They had a run score on a pass ball here in the second. As Phillips takes off for second, the pitch is low, but there'll be no throw over to second. So runners at second and third with a count 2-0 here on Gannon Mullins. And then here in this inning, we have had walk after the run scored by Gunnar Hodgel in the second inning. We've had walk, sack bunt, strikeout, walk, 3 RBI triple by Ethan Gillespie. Hit off the bottom right side of the wall. Here comes the 2-0 to Mullins, and this one will catch the top part of the zone for strike 1, 2 balls, 1 strike. I called it like it was a home run because it looked like it was about to leave the yard. I said, watch out my house, and it hit the bottom of the wall. But if he pulls that, it'll look good. I think the wind just took it as it was making its way opposite field. As this one goes opposite field, pop up right side, not easy. This one's going to be dove for, and a magnificent catch by the center fielder Forte ends the inning, robbing a 2 RBI base knock from Gannon Mullins. But the Buffaloes do score 4 in the bottom of the second to go to 6-0 on the scoreboard. We'll head to the top of the third here on KNED.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned, because I'm all about keeping my money in our town. I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester is ready to make a deal. All 22-year model Gladiators in stock offer $2,500 cash back. All 22 Chargers and Challengers feature $3,000 cash back. Patriot has new 2023 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Laredos with $5,550 cash back. 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Limiteds in stock, $4,000 cash back. Yes, the best deal on a new vehicle is always at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester.
So the Buffaloes have scored 2 in the first, 4 in the second, as Ethan Gillespie's 3 RBI triple has made it 6-0. We head to the top of the third inning with, again, 6-0 our score in the bottom of the order coming up for the Will Rogers Ropers. So I gave you a recap for the offense for McAlester. Here's a recap for the defense. It has gone ground out to second, strikeout, ground out to short, strikeout, ground out to third, strikeout. So if it's holding true, we're going to have a ground out to first and then a strikeout to begin this inning. As we're going to have we're going to have a lefty, Cody Whitelock, dig into the box, right fielder number 17. Again, this is the 4th lefty through 7 batters that we've seen for the Ropers. Here comes the windup and the pitch from Sam. It's going to miss the knees for ball 1. Nice pitch from Sam, just missing by a hair. Sam now tied for the team lead in strikeouts with Caden Less now with 27 on the year. The 1-0. This one just a little bit further up, and as a result gets the strike call. Count moves to 1-1.
Right where you want to leave that one.
Not much you can do with that. Inside corner at the knees, the 1-1. Showing bunt, pulling back, nearly hits the lefty as Whitelock jumps over it, and the count moves to 2-1. A lot of people starting to make their way off work, getting off work a little bit early, filling into the stands and over that pavilion. Here's the 2-1. Goes for the bunt. Don't think he ever pulled back. That should be a called strike. As he'll appeal over to the first base umpire, and he says that he didn't go around. I didn't think he ever pulled back.
He didn't move.
He didn't move. He showed the bunt, never moved, and they're going to call a ball there, so the count is 3-1. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be bunted over towards McAllister's dugout. That's exactly what he did the last pitch.
Only he made contact.
And he made contact. So the count is now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. That was strange.
I don't know about that one.
That was strange. Here comes the windup and the payoff from Sam. Fastball, got him looking, froze him for strike 3 with the fastball. Sit him down, throw it around. 1 down here in the top of the third inning. And that's strikeout number 4 for Seth Sam.
And that bunt attempt goes for nothing. It means nothing.
It won't matter in the end. I guess, like Lincoln Park once said, as the first pitch, strike to another lefty, Pablo Torres. In the end, it doesn't even matter.
Yep.
So the 5th lefty for the Ropers, lefty-heavy lineup officially. First baseman number 8. Here comes the windup and the pitch from Sam. Fastball up high. And the only reason why we're making a big deal of that is for the first 3 or 4 games, McAlester saw like a combined 3 lefties. And now it's them, and I think it was Panama that had a lot of lefties as well, as the next pitch will miss down low, and the count goes to 2-1.
A little behind on the scoreboard.
2 balls, 1 strike. Sam trying to get back even with the count. The windup and the pitch to Torres. Misses the knees. Gillespie tried to pull it up as best he could. The count now moves to 3-1 here for Torres. Torres, the new pitcher, not a first baseman anymore, the new pitcher for the Ropers. Here's the next pitch. Fastball, it's going to miss outside. Torres thought it was a strike even. He's looking where to toss the bat to walk over to first. He took his time, but he'll be making his way over to first, and that'll be the first base runner for the Ropers. Only the 7th walk of the season for Sam. And that brings up Adele Oropeza, the second baseman, number 2. We have a fly that keeps on trying to get in the way. He wants all the action. He wants to be the star of the show. He keeps on trying to get his way in front of the video camera here.
He's working his way up there.
This broadcast starring Fly. First pitch, misses outside, ball 1.
The Fly is not a paid actor. If you're on the video board, you can see him right now.
Leonardo DiFlio. 1 ball, no strikes. Here to the righty, Oropeza. Not much of a lead at first. Showing bunt, pulling back, called strike. Gillespie popped up like he was going to throw it first, but keeps it. Count is 1-1. Oropeza with maybe a 3-4 foot lead. He does not have a big lead. Number 8 standing up next to number 8 over at first base. Phillips holding on Torres. Here's the pitch. This is up high for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike here to Oropeza. As Sam trying to get back in the groove. He's been automatic for the first 7 batters. Walked Torres. Count now 2-1. The pitch shows bunt, pulls back, called strike. And this one will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes. For anyone watching on the broadcast, I'm trying to beat the home plate umpire to the punch, but he does have a little bit of a slower strike call. Count is 2-2. Sam delivers. Showed bunt again, but pulls back. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. And it's another K for Seth Sam. That one another backwards strikeout. 3 out of his 5 coming from the backwards Ks. And we're back to the top of the order. Oscar Murillo grounded out to second on a good piece over to Spencer Stinchcomb. 2 down with a runner at first in the top of the 3rd for the Ropers. Buffalo's leading 6-0. Back in the box to the lefty Murillo. Sam delivers. Curveball starts off the batter with the strike on the outside corner.
I mean, really not much more you could ask from Seth Sam through the first time of the lineup. 5 strikeouts, only 1 base runner currently on via a walk.
He's been automatic this year. So here comes the 0-1. Here's a line drive, and as I say that, it's the first base hit of the day, and it's going to go to the left fielder, Lauerman. Good opposite field action there for Oscar Murillo, and his runners at first and second with 2 down. Buffalo's leading 6-0, top of the 3rd.
Okay, that was not a case of the announcer jinx.
He's still doing well.
I did not mention the hit.
Coming into today, his batting average against him collectively has only been .093. His ERA coming into today, 0.54. He has allowed only 1 run this year, and that was not in his loss.
What?
I mentioned this earlier in the broadcast. In the first inning, he has 1 loss this year. He came in against Bixby in the 7th inning. As here's the first pitch to Ethan Ballou, and it's going to be in there for strike 1 as he showed bunt. He came in. There was an error in the inning, and a couple of hits by Bixby, which led to the win for the Spartans. But someone's got to get credited with the loss, and it has to go to Sam, even though that run was not earned on him. As the next pitch is going to be a bunt down the third base line. Might be a tough play for Gillespie. Picks it up, fires to first. What a bullet from number 7 for out number 3. As we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, great play by Gillespie. Buffalo's leading 6-0 here on KNED.
Best Western Inn and American Inn Lodge and Suites in McAlester are both locally owned and operated. Both offer clean and comfortable rooms at a great price. Best Western Inn and American Inn are proud sponsors of McAlester Buffalo Sports, wishing the best of luck to all the players and coaches. Remember, when you need a clean, comfortable room at a great price, think Best Western Inn and American Inn Suites, both located on the 69 bypass in McAlester.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Fort here in McAlester, and it is Truck Month, and I am so pumped. We haven't had a Truck Month in over 2 years because we just didn't have any trucks. But for this Truck Month, we have specially marked F-150s with 0% for 48 months or 0.9 for 60 on all 22 model F-150s or 3.9% on 23 model F-150s, plus a great selection of used. So come see us while supplies last at Sam Wampler's Freedom Fort in beautiful McAlester, and let us make it happen for you.
Tire and Auto says come meet our new owner, Dylan Hackler. We're a Michelin dealer and we're stocked up with Cooper, Toyo, Hankook, and Max's Buckshot Mutters and Farm and ATV tires. Tire light on? We can fill your tires with nitrogen. We do brakes, alignments, struts, and oil changes too. You'll appreciate our fast, friendly service. All work's guaranteed and estimates are free. OK Tire and Auto, 801 North 1st, McAlester. Call 918-423-2121. Good luck, Buffs. Have a great season.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field. We have made our way to the bottom of the third inning. Buffalo's leading 6-0 over the Will Rogers Ropers. McAlester has totaled up 4 hits so far. We've had a single by Sam, a single by Gillespie, and a single by Hodgel. Gillespie has also had a 3 RBI triple, the biggest hit so far today for McAlester. As McAlester did bring up 9 batters to the plate in the previous inning, they'll start off with Gunnar Hodgel, who led off the bottom of the second for the Buffaloes when they scored 4 runs. He had a bunt single down the first base line. We'll see what he does here to begin the bottom of the third. Again, McAlester leading 6-0. But going back to Seth Sam, the only run that he has allowed so far this year was a 2-run home run. And one of those runs obviously was earned. Yeah, one of them wasn't him, and the other one was the home run, obviously, that will be earned. So only 1 earned run for Sam so far this year, going back to that discussion from the top of the third inning. So Torres has recorded 1 out. He came in to pitch to face Gannon Mullins, recorded a fly out to center on a great catch by Forte to end the inning and the threat by McAlester. As now it'll again be 7-8-9, Hodgel, Stinchcomb, and Lauerman. Again, last time up, those 3 went single, walk, sack, bunt. Again, Hodgel came into today batting .292. That's already been increased with his base hit. First pitch to Hodgel. Takes a big cut way out in front, strike 1. And Torres doesn't bring as much velocity as Mulvaney does. It's going to be a lot slower towards the plate for the McAlester batters. What's important right now, they got to be patient and wait for it to come to them. Sometimes that can be really hard for batters. This one's not hard for Hodgel. He'll 2-hop this one on a line drive over to the left fielder, Ballou, and that'll be a leadoff base knock for Gunnar Hodgel, who stays hot. 2 for 2 today. Hodgel in the Southeast Shootout last week went 3 for 9 with 2 RBIs, including a huge 2 RBI double, which pulled McAlester within 2 of Stigler, a game in which the Buffaloes eventually won by 1. So leadoff base runner here for the Buffaloes, another base hit by Hodgel. Spencer Stinchcomb walked his first time up. First pitch to Stinchcomb. He's going to hit this one. Deep left center field. Forte on his horse, gets behind it, makes the catch, and that'll be out number 1. Which brings up Jackson Lauerman. Lauerman laid down a sack bunt his first time up. And it was a controversial thing for him as well. It was 3-1, tried to lay down a bunt, but that's not what was controversial at all. It was he laid down the bunt, and then it hit him in the left elbow or left shoulder while he was in the box. A home plate umpire did not call it a foul ball, and he was thrown out over at first. Runner takes off for second. It's going to be Hodgel. Great diving stop by the third baseman. Throws across the diamond. It's high. What a catch. What a play. Jackson Lauerman just can't catch a break right now. He hit it on the screws right down the third base line. Murillo dives over towards the line, snags it, and fires across the diamond. A little bit high, but Mulvaney jumps up, grabs it, steps on the first base bag in time for out number 2.
Can't really be mad about that.
He can't catch a break. I'm telling you, I hate that for him. And that'll be now out number 2. He's had so many good pieces, especially back in the Broken Bow tournament. He had a hard-hit line drive, went straight to the shortstop. He's looking for that first base hit of the year, and I thought he had it there, as Watkins will swing and miss at strike 1. Count is now 0-1, but Murillo with just a fantastic play at third base. I bet you he's going to go back over to YouTube and watch that over again. I don't blame him.
I would too.
As a former third baseman, that is a play that you'll remember for a while. The 0-1 goes sidearm action there by Torres. It's going to miss down low, and the count is even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Torres is a perfect example right now for the Ropers as fill the zone, let your defense work, good things will happen.
Mm-hmm. Don't have to bring a whole lot of velocity out there.
Just got to be able to throw strikes. The 1-1. I say that, and he hits it off the plate. This time it's going to be Gunnar Hodgel that will cross home plate and give the Buffaloes a 7-0 lead. I tell you what, the jinx has been unreal here so far to start off the baseball season. It seems like every single thing that I say, the opposite happens the very next pitch. Every single time.
Okay, so if I say he's going to ground out here, it's going to be a home run over the center field ball.
Very possible. Here comes the 2-1. He shows bunt, pops it up behind the catcher. It'll be foul. And the count moves to 2-2. Twos across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here for Watkins with nobody on. Buffalo's leading 7-0.
Well, the reverse jinx didn't work there.
Joke's on you. He would have bunted that for a home run. Have you seen?
Now that would have been a sight to see.
Hello, Sports Center. Counting 2-2.
Would that make top 10 or
Yes.
not top 10?
Top 10. I don't know if anyone's ever bunted for no one could possibly bunt for a home run.
I know Teixeira hit for a broken bat home run.
The 2-2. Curveball fills the zone for strike 3. And that will end the bottom of the 3rd inning. Buffaloes do get a run on a pass ball. They lead 7-0 as we head to the top of the 4th here on KNED.
Do you think this is far enough? Unbelievable. Customers aren't going to be able to make that.
Did you say further?
No.
Come shoot for your TTNL during Fitting Madness and a lot closer than Morgan.
Have you ever thought about playing college basketball? Too easy. Don't forget to tell them Maddie sent ya. Fenton Nissan is your best deal dealer. Learn more at fentonnissan.com.
For more than 50 years, First Realty has helped the residents of McAlester and the surrounding area with their real estate needs. Whether residential or commercial, First Realty will guide you through the process of buying or selling your home or business. You can view our property inventory online at first-realty.net. And if you're into pickleball, the Pickle Palace is open. For membership information, call 918-424-3720 or go to picklepalaceok.com. Since 1952, W.E. Alford Propane has been your source for propane and petroleum products, both residential and commercial. W.E. Alford Propane serves eastern and southeastern Oklahoma, with locations in the Eufaula area, McAlester, Shakota, Wilburton, Hartshorn, and Muskogee, just to name a few. If you need propane or petroleum products, there's only one number to call, 918-423-3121. Call today. W.E. Alford Propane, serving the area for 70 years.
We head to the top of the 4th inning. McAlester leading 7-0. They've scored in every inning so far. 2 in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third. If they can hold the Ropers scoreless in the 4th and 5th and score 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th, they can get into run rule territory. Again, it's 10 after 5 in district play. As we have coming up to the plate, it'll be the heart of the order, Victor Murillo, Jared Mulvaney, and Brian Trevino for the Rogers Ropers. First pitch to Murillo is going to miss down in the turf for ball 1. Again, Murillo made a fantastic play, a diving stop along the third base side, snagged it and threw over to first in time to get Jackson Lauerman. You know how hard it's got to be? I was just talking about how fast Lauerman is, and he was able to make a fantastic play. The 1-0 will be a fastball catching the bottom of the zone for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Murillo back into the box. The windup and the 1-1 to him will be fouled off at the plate. The count moves to 1-2. Now, I was looking at a tweet from the voice of the Lions, and something kind of wild happened.
Oh, yeah?
The other day. I'll tell you about it after this 1-2 pitch. Chopper, right side, coming in as Stinchcomb makes the play, throws over to first in time, over to Phillips, and that'll be out number 1.
All right, so what was the wild thing that happened?
There was a game between, actually 2 games between Carl Albert and Guyman.
Okay.
There was a combined 57 runs scored in those 2 games.
Was it a close game?
First pitch to Mulvaney is a fastball that misses up high. All the runs were scored by Carl Albert. They beat Guyman 24-0 and then 33-0 in a 5A baseball doubleheader.
Oh my goodness.
As the 1-0 will be a pop-up left side. Looks like it's going to land on top of the Hughes Fieldhouse, where all baseballs go to reside. Seems like.
To the track.
And the count is now 1-1. District games are supposed to go 5 innings before the 10-0 run rule goes into effect. Now, we've seen plenty of times as here comes the 1-1 from Sam. It's going to bounce into the turf, and the count moves to 2-1. We've seen oftentimes where a game gets out of hand early, and the 2 coaches will get together and say, okay, after the third inning, we're ending this, or we'll do 3 runs, 3 outs, or something like that. If it's gonna, if you know it's gonna be kind of an ugly game, is the 2-1 will miss down low for ball 3. They did not end the game early. They went
all 7,
all 5, and then all 5 for the next. Because you still get the run rule.
Well, I thought you were saying they just ignored the run rule entirely.
No, the 3-1 is going to be a pop-up once again foul, and the count moves to 3-2. No, they didn't ignore the run rule. I mean, obviously you can't ignore the run rule. That is a rule that you have to have in district play. But, again, coaches can get together and decide to end it after 3 or after 2 or after 4. This time, they did not do that. They went all 10 innings of those 2 games. Here's a ground ball in front of the pitcher. Sam, he'll field it on the back hop. Throws over to first in time to Phillips for out number 2. So a couple of ground outs to begin the top of the 4th inning. Buffalo's leading 7-0 with 2 down and nobody on, which brings up Brian Trevino, who grounded out to the third baseman, Gannon Mullins. But I was looking at the scores. Carl Albert scored 13 in the first in one game, 9 in the second inning, 2 in the third. As here comes the first pitch to Trevino. Curveball low and outside for ball 1. In the second game, poor Guyman. They scored 14 runs in the first inning, 16 runs in the second.
30 runs in 2 innings.
Yep. The 1-0 is going to miss down low for ball 2. Now, what was the game that we called? They got close to that.
Oh.
Was it the Muskogee-McAlester game?
Yeah.
I think it was Muskogee.
Yeah, are you talking about the one in Shawnee?
I think it was the one in the Shawnee tournament. And those games can be ended after 3 innings. It was a rough 2 innings for Muskogee, as the 2-0 is going to be fouled off to the left side over to McAllister's dugout, and the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike.
And that's where the majority of the lineup after, I think it was the 3rd inning, didn't have names.
Yeah, because they didn't have it on their lineup that they gave to us and gave to each other. Here's the 2-1. This one will be grounded over to the first side on a tomahawk chop. Phillips fields it, steps on first himself for out number 3. So 3 batters, 3 ground outs for the Will Rogers Ropers. McAllister trying to score 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning to possibly win this early. Again, 7-0 is the score right now as we played half a 7-inning game on KNED.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned. Because I'm all about keeping my money in our town, I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester is ready to make a deal. All 22-year model Gladiators in stock offer $2,500 cash back. All 22 Chargers and Challengers feature $3,000 cash back. Patriot has new 2023 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Laredos with $5,550 cash back. 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Limiteds in stock, $4,000 cash back. Yes, the best deal on a new vehicle is always at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester. Best Western Inn and American Inn Lodge and Suites in McAlester are both locally owned and operated. Both offer clean and comfortable rooms at a great price. Best Western Inn and American Inn are proud sponsors of McAlester Buffalo Sports, wishing the best of luck to all the players and coaches. Remember, when you need a clean, comfortable room at a great price, think Best Western Inn and American Inn Suites, both located on the 69 bypass in McAlester.
We have some final team standings from the McAlester Boys Open for golf. As Derek Hatridge reports, McAlester is the McAlester Boys Open champions. They defeat Lone Grove 325-328. And the individual, Lone Grove's Brady Newton, took home the best score of the day with the 73. But tied for third was Zane Owens with 78. Seth Gilliam from McAlester was tied for fifth with Sean Perkins at 79. So congratulations to McAlester Boys Golf. So let's head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Spring sports trying to continue to be good here for McAlester on this Tuesday, March the 21st, game 1 of our doubleheader today. McAlester leading 7-0, as it'll be 2, 3, 4 batters up for the Buffaloes: Seth Sam, Caden Lesnow, Ethan Gillespie. Wind up in the first pitch to Sam. He'll watch this one bounce behind the catcher. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, you're mentioning spring. I don't know what that means because it is not spring outside.
It feels pretty cold, but I was mentioning this earlier in the broadcast as well. it's going to get warmer throughout the night. Like, it's going to get 65 degrees by midnight tonight. And
That's wild.
It's 56 right now. The 1-0. Line drive down the left field line. It's going to hit off. No, they're going to call it foul. They're going to call it foul. Looked like it might have hit on the line. Home plate umpire says it's just a tad bit foul, missed by about half a foot.
Folks, I'll let you online be the judge.
That was close. Nathan Lesnow tuning in, saying shout out to Caden Lesnow and the Buffs from Nathan and Casey.
Are you sure it's not Caden?
I'm sure. What did you call?
No, I think it was Philip.
Philip. It said shout out. This is shout out from Caden Lesnow. No, it's not Caden. Caden's playing. Oh, okay. Philip, we love you. We know you're listening. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's going to be off of the top of the bat. It's going to barely miss Mr. Jacob Lane that's over there by the McAlester dugout, and the count is now 1-2. But, yeah, he says, great job, Mr. Brandon Green. Thank you so much, Nathan, for tuning in. Caden having a good day. He's on deck. He hasn't gotten out. He's walked twice. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the windup from Torres and the 1-2. Curveball, it's going to bounce off the plate again, and the count moves to even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We mentioned it in the previous inning, a classic example. Let your defense work. Torres has come in, only allowed 1 run, and recorded 4 outs so far. Even came in a runners at second and third jam. Was able to get out of it with the pop out to center. 2-2. Line drive, just past the hopping shortstop, over to the center fielder Forte. It's going to be a leadoff single for Seth Sam. Again, McAlester hoping to get 3 runs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. If they can do that and hold the Ropers scoreless in the top of the 5th, they can take home a run rule win here in Game 1. As Lesnow has not had an official at-bat so far today, he has walked twice. Lesnow still batting .346 on the year. His on-base percentage has gone up. It came into today with a .424 OBP. Pickoff over to first. Sliding in safely is Sam. McAlester, base runners taking big leads here. We talk about their speed 1 through 9 in the lineup. Coming set. Torres quickly delivers. This one's going to be a pop-up. Deep left field over towards the foul line. Getting over there, and it's going to bounce off of Ballou's glove in left field. Sam's going to try to make his way over to third. He will do so. The throw goes wild to the shortstop. They're going to keep Sam over at third base, though. This one is going to go down as an E7. That looks like a normal pop-up, but again, with the wind blowing the way that it is, wind gust around 35 miles per hour, those are not easy plays, but standing on the left field line near the warning track, I believe right in front of it, was the left fielder Ballou. He reached behind him, and it hit off of his glove and then fell into fair territory. So it leads to an E7 to bring up Ethan Gillespie. Right now, Gillespie represents, if McAlester can hold the Roper scoreless in the top of the 5th, the winning run. First pitch to Gillespie will miss up high for ball 1.
Man, those winds are sure blowing out to left field.
I was mentioning this in the first inning. Do you think that Gillespie needs them?
No, I'm not saying he needs them.
I'm just saying this one might land over at Peterball.
Yeah.
If he can get a hold of one. The 1-0. He waits, but this one's going to miss inside for ball 2.
Yeah, if you give him a pitch to hit.
He's only had 1 home run this year, and last year he had 3, but the year before that he had 7 or 8 home runs, and a lot of them came within the span of about 3 weeks. It seemed like he couldn't stop hitting home runs. Here's the 2-0. He hits this one on the screws into left field. It's going to score 1. Here comes Lesnow. That'll be 2 runs scored, and the Buffaloes go up 9-0 on a 2 RBI single for Ethan Gillespie. Have yourself a day.
Now batting for your Buffaloes, first baseman.
Make that 6 RBIs for Ethan Gillespie in this game, 3 for 3.
Wow. How many does he have on the year? I'm just curious.
Well, he had 7 coming into today. He's got 6 in this one game.
That is wild.
7 RBIs on the season. He's got 6 today. He's responsible for 6 out of the 9 runs for McAlester. That brings up Braden Phillips, who has struck out and walked. Pickoff over to first, standing in there safely is Gillespie. Again, last year led the team in RBIs with 47, batted .393 with those 3 home runs, 16 extra base hits, 27 stolen bases, and don't be surprised if you see him get one here pretty soon to get in a scoring position. This one's going to go behind. Well, I guess he won't have to steal this one. He'll just reach on a wild pitch as it goes behind Phillips for ball 1. despite that one errant pitch from Torres, he has not walked a batter so far. It has gone fly out to center, single, fly out to center, ground out, strikeout, single, E7, 2 RBI single by Gillespie. Buffaloes lead 9-0. Nobody out for McAlester, bottom of the fourth. The pitch to Phillips, takes a big cut, swings underneath it, and that will be strike one. I mean, I know you're just trying to do a job, and you're just trying to get a base knock, try to get on base, score some runs. I know, but it's hard to look up over in center field and see the wind blowing and not want to get a big rip. The 1-1, Phillips swings and misses for strike two. Because I can say as a former player, one of the first things that we looked at when we came over to the field was which way was the wind blowing and how hard is it blowing.
I mean, because right now, that wind is blowing as hard as I've seen in a while.
The 1-2 to Phillips. Half-hearted swing, but this one still is going to launch its way over towards the walking track. If you're walking foofer, make sure that you play dodgeball. The count is 1-2.
Foofer, that's the name you come up with.
Yeah. Fido, whatever. Count 1 and 2. Torres delivers. Hard hit, line drive, left center field. This one is going to one hop into the left fielder blue. It's going to score Gillespie. Here comes Phillips with a stand-up double. RBI double for Braden Phillips, and the Buffaloes have officially put 10 runs on the board here with a 3 spot in the bottom of the fourth inning, and we still have nobody out. That brings up Gannon Mullins. Over 2 thus far. Got robbed of a hit by a fantastic play in center by Forte. He's also struck out, so over 2. Again, he had a rough start to the year, but went 4 for 6 in the final 2 games of the Southeast Shootout, including having the game-winning base hit against Stigler in the bottom of the 6th. Taking off for third. Here's a curveball that's going to fill the zone, and it's going to be Phillips with an easy take of third. So nobody out. Mullins with the chance to drive and run. 75% of Mullins' hits have come with runners in scoring position.
Well, that's when you want to have them.
That's for sure. Leads the team in walks. Here comes the 0-1. Popped it straight up the chute. The wind might bring this one back in. It's in foul territory. It did, and it's going to land in between the 3 players for Will Rogers, between the catcher Trevino, pitcher Torres, and first baseman Mulvaney. On any other day, that's going to land on top of the press box. Count is 0-2 here on Mullins. Lights are officially on over here at Mike Deak. Overcast skies, that's not supposed to change for a little while. We won't see the sun until Saturday.
Oh, no.
Torres takes a deep breath, delivers the 0-2. Ground ball left side. It's going to be underneath the backhanded try by the third baseman Murillo, and it'll be an RBI. Could be double here for Mullins. He'll be standing up. RBI double makes the score 11-0. McAlester on top. Back-to-back RBI doubles. And that brings up Gunnar Hodgel. McAlester starting to get some base hits here.
Starting to really get the offense going.
Hodgel 2 for 2 so far with a pair of singles. Getting Buffaloes up 11-0, bottom of the 4th inning. They've scored in every inning, 2 in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third, 4 in the fourth. As Torres will look over at second base and deliver. This one will go behind Hodgel, and taking third easy will be Mullins. So now with that base hit by Gannon, that even gives McAllister's Seth Sam a little bit more breathing room to, if you give up a run in the top of the 5th, no big deal. You can still get the win.
Right. But let's score some more, shall we?
McAllister would like to do that, I'm sure. The 1-0 is going to bounce into the turf to make the count now 2-0. McAllister's offense, again, struggled there for a little while. I think in the span of 3 games, I want to say that 4 games, they scored a total of 8 runs. They scored 8 runs in 4 games, so they were averaging 2 runs a game for a span of 4 games, going from Oak to Haw to Cashin, as the count's now 3-0 here on Hodgel. So I'm sure McAllister wanting to exercise some demons and get some more runs here. Came off an 8-run performance against Stigler back on Wednesday. Here comes the 3-0. Called strike on the outside corner. Hodgel is about to toss the bat over to the on-deck man. He'll hold on to it and get back in. Count 3-1. The hitter's count pitch will be popped up left side, and it just keeps traveling on top of the Hughes Fieldhouse.
And over.
How many baseballs do you think is on top of that Hughes Fieldhouse? I'm looking right now, and I see at least, I think there's 8 that I see.
There's at least 1.
It's like Patrick looking at that mattress factory. How many do you think there are? 10.
Cool.
The 3-2 will be another pop-up. Not a can of corn. Left field. Tough play. We'll see what happens. It'll be caught by Ballou. It'll be a sac fly as Mullins will come over to home plate. Kind of look what I found. Catch by Ballou over in left field.
Wasn't sure who was going to catch that one.
As we're looking at Forte, his hat's flying off. No, excuse me, the shortstop Murillo, his hat's flying off. That wind is not making any fly ball easy today. And Ballou with a pretty good catch over in left field for out number 1, but it does score a run. So now nobody on the base paths for the Buffaloes. Spencer Stinchcomb digs into the box 0 for 1. He has walked and flown out to center field. 5 spot now for the Buffaloes. As Torres eyeing down his catcher Trevino. The pitch. Hard hit line drive down the line, but foul. Just a little bit out in front by Stinchcomb.
Of that one.
I think Stinchcomb's got a little bit of a hit streak going on right now. I think he's got a hit in the last, I want to say 4 at least.
Does he have one today?
Not yet today.
Okay.
The 0-1 will be missing down below the knees, and the count will move to 1 ball and 1 strike. I don't think he's had one multi-hit game, I think, and that was against Midwest City in the first game of that doubleheader. But other than that, he's had a lot of just singles. Been able to get on base, and he had a big hit, like we said earlier, against Stigler to tie the game. That's the next pitch to him is going to be a ground ball behind Coach Mullins, and the count moves to 1-2. Now, I'm excited to see how Stinchcomb and Hodgel, the 2 underclassmen in the starting 9, I'm excited to see kind of their progress towards their senior years. We got to see it a lot for like Leighton Bass and Gage Mullins and Zach Freestad and Gage Dollins and all those guys from their freshman year on to their senior year. I'm excited to see it with these 2 young guns. As the 1-2, it's going to be a curveball that misses far outside. Count now 2-2. I think they're both going to be pretty solid players for McAlester. They already are right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Hodgel came in today batting .292. Stinchcomb batting .280 right behind him. 2-2 pitch. Miss far outside, and I'll move the count to full here for Stinchcomb. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And also, McAlester hasn't been really facing easy pitching. They faced a lot of tough teams so far.
Yeah.
I mean, even though some of them are in 2A, those are ranked 2A teams. Teams that beat 6A teams. Cashin, for example. The 3-2 pitch. Pops this one up. Is it going to get out of play? I don't think anyone's going to get to it. This one will nearly hit the lights, but land on top of the Hughes Fieldhouse.
I actually went into the bullpen over there.
Yeah, popped off of it and then went into the bullpen. Count's still full. Stinchcomb will go back to the right-handed batter's box. Again, 3-2 our count. Torres winds up, and the payoff once more. This one will miss up high, and good AB from Spencer Stinchcomb. He'll take his walk, and they'll bring up Jackson Lauerman. Lauerman has had a sack bunt. Again, that maybe shouldn't have counted.
Yeah.
He ended up hitting off his left shoulder. And then he had a hard hit ground ball down the third base line that was just a fantastic grab by Murillo. As he will dig into the box. And again, everything I say is a jinx. I say we may not see the sun until Saturday. What is starting to peek through the clouds. As we have a pickoff over to first. Gets past the first baseman, Mulvaney. Stinchcomb will make his way to second, and I think he'll just stay put right there.
No reason to risk it any further.
Anytime that I've given any kind of take or anything this year, or have has said this guy's been doing great here or this has happened here, the opposite happens every time. I said we're not going to see the sun until Saturday, and it's starting to peek through the clouds.
Okay, I'm just going to say this right now. McAlester will not win state.
So you're trying to jinx it to where they will win state.
Yes, exactly.
Pick off over to first.
Second.
Torres, yeah, thank you. Torres does not throw. And Lauerman up at the plate. Good lead by Stinchcomb. Again, same play as last time. Little spin move over to second, does not throw.
Man, quit making me move the camera if you're not going to throw it.
But here's the deal. Like, your jinxes aren't counting. My jinxes have been absolutely working, whether for us or against us. First pitch is going to bounce into the catcher, Trevino. Well, Lauerman, I'm going to help you out here. You're not going to get a base hit here. We're trying to do the opposite. We're trying to get you on base. He has been piecing up the ball well over the last few games. I would like to see him drive one. Here's the 1-0. We'll miss outside for ball 2. Everything that I've said has been the opposite. So we're going to cross our fingers, and if he gets a base knock here, we're going to go nuts. Stinchcomb over at second base. Because we'll know for sure if it's real. Here comes the pitch. This one will fill the zone for strike 1.
I mean, that'll bring in lucky run number 13 if he does get a hit.
It will.
Here.
It should, at least.
Yeah.
I've said that before. I said if they hit one into the outfield, it should score the run from second. Guess what didn't happen? that happened. That happened over in Idabel over the week. And here's a line drive over to center field. It's a base knock. Lauerman's got it, and it's a single for Jackson Lauerman in the McAlester dugout. Gives him a round of applause. That's awesome. Jackson Lauerman with a nice line drive up the middle to be able to get onto the base paths, and we got runners at the corners with one down to bring up the top of the order. I'm telling you, I'm a walking jinx, and you're welcome, Lauerman. You can thank me later. You can buy me some, I don't know, you can buy me some dinner. 12-0 the score, bottom of the 4th inning. Watkins up at the top of the order. Shows bunt, gets it down the third base line. It's going to ride the line, but then tail off foul for strike 1. Watkins trying to erase an 0-for so far. He's 0 for 3. Again, 4 out of his 6 hits have been bunt singles on the year, trying to make it now 5 of 7 with that last attempt. But that's what's wild about Watkins to me. And as I was looking at his stats earlier, we talked about 4 out of his 6 hits being bunt singles. The other 2 have been extra base hits, doubles, and triples. He has not had a swinging single so far this year.
That is wild.
There's been a lot of weird stats here from McAllister's lineup. The 0-1 pitch to Watkins is going to plunk him right between the 1 and the 0 on his back, and we have the bases loaded for the Buffs. For Seth Sam, this bases loaded alert brought to you by Lindley's Paint and Body Shop. It's a full-service collision repair center and restoration shop in McAlester. And Sam will dig in so far 2 for 2 today. He's got a single, a walk, and a single in his 3 plate appearances. So Watkins at first, Lauerman at second, Stinchcomb over at third. First pitch to Sam. Hard hit ground ball behind the backhand of the third baseman. It's going to go down as an E5. So Sam's perfect day is no more. That's going to go down as an error there for McAllister, for Will Rogers. But it does score a run as McAllister now has 13 runs with a 6 spot in the bottom of the 4th. That brought home Stinchcomb. There's still only 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
And bases are still loaded.
Les now trying to get his first hit of the day. He's walked twice. He's reached on an E7, and he had a pop-up that normally you'd feel like would go halfway up the left field line. Reached near the warning track, and it hit off the left fielder Blue's glove. McAllister's already batted around. Sam led off the inning. He's going to hit this one. Center field, over towards Forte. He will jump and make the catch, but coming home will be Lauerman. Tagging up from second will be Watkins, and that'll be an RBI sac fly as Sam will stay put over at first base. and McAlester goes up 14-0.
Score 'em while you got the chance.
Absolutely. McAlester has now officially scored more runs in this game than they have in any game so far this year. As Ethan Gillespie tries to keep his fantastic day going, he is 3 for 3 with 6 RBIs, including a 3 RBI triple. He's got runners at the corners with 2 down. The pitch. High hit, fly ball, deep left center field, carrying towards the scoreboard, and it's going to hit off the scoreboard. A 3-run home run for Ethan Gillespie. Get up, fly high, be gone. One of the best days that you'll see on the diamond from anybody Ethan Gillespie's having right now.
Is that 10 from him?
That is now 9 RBIs for Ethan Gillespie. And he is a double. He's a double away from the cycle.
You know what? Let's keep this game going. Let's keep it going.
McAlester has now put up 10 runs here in the bottom of the 4th inning with only 2 down. A 3-run home run by Ethan Gillespie. I think hit off the bank and A sign.
I think it did. Either that or it went just below it.
So now it's 17-0 McAlester up. Braden Phillips trying to keep the party going. He is 1 for 2. The windup and the pitch. This one will fill the zone for strike 1. Again, we will go to the top of the 5th inning. McAllister's got plenty of, run support here still to get the run rule victory.
As of this moment, Will Rogers would need to score 8.
As this one hits Phillips on the side. And that will bring up Gannon Mullins.
But like I was saying, they'd need to score 8 in the top of the 5th just to keep this game going.
So again, 17-0, the Buffaloes in the lead. As again, Ethan Gillespie with 9 RBIs. I don't remember the last time that a Buffalo player has had more than 7 in a game. I can remember 7 a couple of times. As the first pitch is going to miss down low to Mullins for ball 1. I know Dalton Wood had 7 runs in a game. RBIs,
7 home
not
runs
home
in a
runs.
game.
7.
That'd be impressive.
7 RBIs in the game often. I think Gillespie's even had a 7 RBI game before.
But 9?
I don't think I've ever seen 9. As the 1-0 is going to fill the top of the zone, and that'll move the count to 1 ball, 1 strike. Batters have also got to recognize as Mullins, I don't think, like the strike there. With the score now 17-0, that strike zone is going to expand.
Yeah.
Count is 1-1. McAlester up big here, 17-zip. The 1-1, it's going to miss down low to move the count to 2-1. Again, it's been a 10 spot here by the Buffaloes in the bottom of the 4th inning. You might be, in other games, might be wondering, where's the help for Torres right now? Will Rogers has only got 11 players on the roster. Is this one will be a foul ball right behind Mullins? The count 2-2 with 2 down.
Now, is he their second pitcher of the day?
He's their second pitcher of the day. Mulvaney started it. Again, the count 2-2. Runner at first for the Buffaloes. And the pitch. This one will catch the inside corner for strike 3, and the inning comes to an end. But the Buffaloes score 10 runs, including a 3-run shot by Ethan Gillespie off the scoreboard as the Buffaloes lead by 17, trying to end this game in the top of the 5th here on KNED.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned. Because I'm all about keeping my money in our town, I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester is ready to make a deal. All 22-year model Gladiators in stock offer $2,500 cash back. All 22 Chargers and Challengers feature $3,000 cash back. Patriot has new 2023 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Laredos with $5,550 cash back. 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Limiteds in stock, $4,000 cash back. Yes, the best deal on a new vehicle is always at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester.
And welcome back to Mike Deak Field here in McAlester, Oklahoma.
Buffaloes,
Brandon, take it away.
Buffaloes are leading 17-0. I was making sure I got caught up on my score sheet over here. The Buffaloes have had 11 hits. The Ropers have had 1. So far, we've had 5 strikeouts, I believe, for Mr. Seth Sam. 6 have been combined between Mulvaney and Torres. 8 walks or hit by pitches by Mulvaney and Torres. Sam has only walked 1. 2 errors officially by the Ropers, none by McAlester. Again, 17-0 is our score. Buffalo's trying to close this thing out. They'll be taking on the 6, 7, 8 hole batters as the first pitch will be swung on and missed to A.J. Forte for strike 1. Forte struck out swinging his first time up. Again, last year McAlester beat Will Rogers 16-0 and 18-1 in their 2 games as the 0-1 will be fouled straight back.
Right at the mic.
And the count moves to 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes.
I don't think anyone who was listening didn't hear that.
That's right. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Got him on the off speed once more. Sit him down, throw it around, 1 down here in the top of the 5th inning, and the Ropers down to their final 2 outs. And that brings up the right fielder, number 17, Cody Whitelock. Again, a reminder not to go anywhere as the first pitch to Whitelock, the lefty, will miss down low for ball 1. Don't go anywhere because we will be having game 2 happening roughly 20 to 25 minutes after the end of the first game. As the 1-0 will be a fastball missing inside, and that'll be ball 2. So we get 6 strikeouts for Sam. Here's the windup in the 2-0. Will fill the zone with the fastball to move it to 2-1. And Whitelock struck out looking his first time up. Torres is on deck. He walked. One of the 2 base runners so far today for the Ropers. The 2-1. Fastball at the knees for strike 2. Sam trying to be responsible for both district wins for McAlester. If he can finish this thing out, got plenty of help in the 4th inning as the 2-2 is going to be a curveball missing low for ball 3. Full count for Whitelock. The payoff. Fastball on the outside corner, strike 3. Got him looking again. And that'll bring up Pablo Torres as the Ropers are down to their final out, needing 8 runs here in the top of the 5th to keep it going. Going to be up in the box, the opposing pitcher for the Ropers. First pitch to Torres. Fastball up by the chin for ball 1. Really like the helmet for Torres here. Not a lot of players have it in high school, but you have that little chin guard, kind of like what Giancarlo Stanton wears as the 1-0. And it will fill the zone for strike 1. Not only does Stanton wear it, but a lot of Major League Baseball players are wearing it nowadays to cover up that side of their face.
It just makes sense.
As the count is 1-1.
But if I was Stanton, I'd be wearing that too after what happened to him.
The pitch, fastball missing way inside for ball 2. And he was like one of the first people to actually wear that kind of helmet for what happened to him. He had that fastball that hit him in the chin, ended up, I think, breaking his jaw and other stuff too, fracturing his face. As the 2-1 will be grounded left side near the McAlester dugout. The count moves to 2-2. He was the first person I remember that actually wore that style of helmet, and then other people said, you know what, I'm not going to risk that, and they started wearing it as well. Javier Baez is another one I know that wears that. Count's now 2-2, though. Here's the windup, and Sam tries to finish it, and he won't do it on this pitch, as he'll be fouled into the McAlester dugout once more. As Wilson Alford over there in the McAlester dugout already had a foul ball in one of his gloves, tried to catch that foul ball with a ball already in its glove.
Oh, why not? Give it a shot.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off for him. Here's the 2-2. Fastball right down Broadway. Got him looking for out number 3, and that's the ball game, folks. Seth Sam strikes out to side the end the game as the Buffaloes win 17-0 over the Will Rogers Ropers. Let's go ahead and look at your post-game stats brought to you by Beautiful Rooms Furniture. They offer brand-name high-end mattresses, including hybrids sold at discount prices. Visit their showroom today for quality furniture at affordable prices, starting with the Ropers. 1 through 9, Murillo went 1 for 2. Oscar Murillo with a single. Ethan Ballou went 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a bunt attempt for a hit that went 2-3. Victor Murillo went 0-2 with 2 groundouts. Jared Mulvaney went 0-2. Brian Trevino 0-2 with 2 groundouts. AJ Forte went 0-2 with 2 strikeouts. Cody Whitelock 0-2 with 2 strikeouts. Pablo Torres had a walk and a strikeout, and Adele Oropeza struck out in his only at-bat. The Ropers had 1 hit. Between Mulvaney and Torres, they struck out 6 McAlester batters, walk or hit 8, and 2 recorded errors by the Ropers. The Buffaloes 1-9 looked like this. Watkins went 0-3 and also a hit by pitch. Seth Sam went 2-3 with a pair of singles and an E5. Caden Lesnow went 0-1. He walked twice, had an RBI sac fly, and had an E7, so 0-1 with an RBI. Ethan Gillespie, 4-4 with a 3-run home run and 9 RBIs for Gillespie. Braden Phillips ended up going 1-2 with a walk and a hit by pitch and RBI double. Gannon Mullins went 1-4 with an RBI double. Gunnar Hodgel, 2-2 with an RBI sac fly. Spencer Stinchcomb, 0-1. Jackson Lauerman, 1-2. And Seth Sam went all 5 innings, getting the win, striking out 8, walking 1, no McAlester errors, 11 hits for McAlester today to end Game 1. We'll be having Game 2 happening momentarily. Again, the Buffaloes win 17-0. Ladies and gentlemen, Buffalo fans far and wide, grab that brush and paint that win column black and gold. Game 2 happening in about 20 to 25 minutes. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to McAlester Baseball here on KNED. Welcome back to Mike Deak Field here in beautiful McAlester, Oklahoma. The Buffaloes are taking on the Will Rogers Ropers in a district doubleheader. McAlester wins game 1. They won it about 30 minutes ago. If that, 17-0 the final score behind a 10-run bottom of the 4th inning, including a 9 RBI day from Ethan Gillespie. The McAlester Buffaloes trying to take care of business again here in game 2. As again, these district games are really important for, of course, your district standings and where you're going to be going in the playoffs. McAlester is currently 2-1 in district play with 2 run rule wins, but they lost one game to Midwest City, 8-6. And also, how many runs you score in games can be important too. I mean, once you get to the 10-run mark, again, it doesn't matter how much you score after that. But again, if you can get run rule wins, you want to make sure that you get run rule wins. So the Buffaloes won, hoping to get a win here in the second game, but also hoping to get a run rule victory as well, as the Buffaloes again had the first one won 17-0. But again, Bishop Kelly beat Will Rogers 18-0 in their first game, only beat Will Rogers 5-0 in the second game. That could be really important when it comes to district standings later on in the season. Runs scored, runs differential was a big reason. Well, it was the reason why McAlester ended up going to Grove instead of going to Collinsville last year. So it is a very big deal if you can get more runs when you can get them to get them. But, of course, right now what's the most important to the McAlester Buffaloes is getting the win. This is your voice of the Buffaloes, Brandon Green, alongside Mr. Nate Brown as we're about ready for Game 2. Let's go ahead and look at our starting lineup. Starting off with the visiting team. We'll see the visiting team on the scoreboard. Again, this is a district doubleheader. We'll see if McAllister's the home team for both games or if they'll let the Ropers be the home team in the second game, since we were supposed to be playing over in Tulsa yesterday before the field conditions made us play 2 games today. The Ropers 1 through 9 looks like this. Shortstop number 11, Oscar Murillo. Murillo at short. Batting second, the left fielder number 12, Ethan Ballou in left field. Batting third, the pitcher number 10, Victor Murillo.
You got this.
I do have this. Murillo on the mound. Batting cleanup, the first baseman number 19, Jared Mulvaney. Mulvaney at first. Batting fifth, the catcher number 4, Brian Trevino. Trevino behind home plate. Batting sixth, the center fielder number 5, H.A. Forte. Forte in center field. Batting seventh, the right fielder number 17, Cody Whitelock. Whitelock in right field. Batting eighth, the second baseman number 8, Pablo Torres. Torres at second. And batting ninth and rounding out the starting 9 for the Ropers, the third baseman number 2, Adele Oropeza at third base. The Ropers 2-5-1 on the season, led by head coach John Yates. Your McAlester Buffaloes 1 through 9 on the season looks like this. 1 through 9 for today. Center fielder number 10, Ethan Watkins. Watkins in center. Batting second, the shortstop, number 15, Seth Sam. Sam at short. Batting third, the pitcher number 2, Caden Lesnow. Lesnow on the bump. Batting cleanup, the catcher number 7, Ethan Gillespie. Gillespie behind the plate. Batting fifth, the first baseman number 8, Braden Phillips. Phillips at first. Batting sixth, the third baseman number 6, Gannon Mullins. Mullins at third. Batting seventh, the right fielder number 11, Gunnar Hodgel. Hodgel in right field. Batting eighth, the second baseman number 1, Spencer Stinchcomb. Stinchcomb at second. And batting ninth, the left fielder number 3, Jackson Lowerman. Lowerman in left. So McAlester will be the home team for the second game as well. Let's look at the defensive linemen for the black and gold as they're wearing their pinstripes today. Tops and bottoms, and the hats all black with the gold interlocking MB on the front. You have Phillips at first, Stinchcomb at second, Sam at short, Mullins at third, Lowerman in left, Watkins in center, and Hodgel in right as the Buffaloes have taken the field. The battery for the Buffs will be Gillespie behind the plate and Caden Lesnow on the mound. Caden Lesnow, his last pitching performance was a dandy. He only gave up 4 hits to the Cashion Wildcats, but again lost that game in 9 innings over spring break. A 2-1 final score. And the 2 out of the 4 hits were, 1, the game-tying hit in the 7th, and the game-winning hit in the 9th. So he ended up striking out 12 batters in that process. He's had an excellent start to the year, but is looking for that first win of the year. Again, he's 0-2 so far. He's pitched in 17 2/3. He has a 1.98 ERA, striking out 27, walking 6. Batters have a collective make that 225 batting average against him. So it'll be Caden Lesnow for the first time this year, though, I believe, pitching with the pants down, no stirrups today for Caden Lesnow. As we're about to have first pitches, Gillespie fires down over to the shortstop, Sam. First pitch brought to you by Big V Feed Center. It's always your best bet for your feeding program for all of your animals. Visit your Big V Feeds dealer in McAlester, Kiowa, and Shakota. So Lesnow looking over to the left side of his field where he sees Lowerman and Sam. Les now looks and see if his defense is ready. Toes the rubber. Les now is ready. Murillo is ready. With the wind blowing, here's the windup. And the first pitch of game 2 of today's doubleheader is a pop-up left side. Mullins chasing it down, and he can't make the catch on the run, but that is strike 1 to begin game 2 here. It's baseball time in the Heartland.
I'm going to blame that one all on the wind.
Any pop-up today is going to be a pretty tough play to make. Unless it's like a softly hit line drive, it's going to be a tough play. If you have any kind of arc to it, it's going to be a little bit tough. The wind is still blowing about wind gusts around 35 to 40 miles an hour today. So here comes the 0-1 to Murillo. As he pops this one up, again, tough play, left side. Lauerman will call off Sam. It dropped it. That's what I'm talking about, and it's going to roll behind Lauerman, and it's going to be an E7. Our second E7 of the day, but not by McAlester. That's our first error of the day. Our last E7 came against Ballou, as that one was over in left field. But now the Ropers are on the base paths. Murillo had the single, the only hit for the Ropers in the previous game. That brings up Ethan Ballou. It looked like Lauerman was right underneath it, but again, nothing's really a can of corn with the wind blowing the way that it is. Ballou put down a really good bunt back in the last game, but a great play by Gillespie retired Ballou. Go-ahead run for the Ropers at second base. Here's the first pitch. Shows bunt, pulls back, strike 1 called there from Les now. Les now rocking the Warrior Eye Black 3/4 sleeve if you're able to just listen on KNED. Runner at second with nobody out. The 0-1 pitch. Shows bunt, gets it down but foul. Now the count 0-2.
So you still lay down the bunt here with 2 strikes?
No, but we have seen, I wouldn't do it, but we have seen a couple of Ropers show bunt and attempt at one, not fouling it off, but just missing, pulling back, thinking it was ball 3, ball 4, whatever it was, and it being a called strike. So they've shown bunt with 2 strikes on 2 different batters have so far today. So I wouldn't put it past them to try to do it. They've already shown it a couple of times. The count is 0-2 with the runner at second. He shows bunt, gets it down with 2 strikes, fielded by Les now, throws over to first just in time for out number 1. But the sack bunt does its job and moves Murillo over to third base. Like I said, we've seen it before. We saw them tried to do it twice before. That time they do it again, and it pays off for him. Moves the go-ahead run into score. Well, it was already in scoring position, but moves it up 90 feet further to third base with Victor Murillo, the pitcher, coming up to the plate. He was over 2 in the last game with 2 groundouts to the middle infielders. First pitch, ground ball right side. That's going to give the Ropers the lead as Stinchcomb will throw over to first in time for out number 2. So that was the importance of that sack bunt laid by Ethan Ballou. It allowed for Victor Murillo to be able to drive home the run. Again, that run is going to be unearned against Caden Les now. On a 4-3 ground out by Murillo that brings up Jared Mulvaney, and the Buffaloes are down 1-0 to the Ropers here in the top of the first inning. Again, that's why you have to be able to flush game 1 and go to game 2 and have the same intensity that you did to begin game 1. As this one's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop, Sam fields it, fires across to first in time for out number 3. But the Ropers take a 1-0 lead after an error turns into a run. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Buffaloes down here on KNED.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned. Because I'm all about keeping my money in our town, I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted number 1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester is ready to make a deal. All 22-year model Gladiators in stock offer $2,500 cash back. All 22 Chargers and Challengers feature $3,000 cash back. Patriot has new 2023 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Laredos with $5,550 cash back. 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Limiteds in stock, $4,000 cash back. Yes, the best deal on a new vehicle is always at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester. Best Western Inn and American Lodge and Suites in McAlester are both locally owned and operated. Both offer clean and comfortable rooms at a great price. Best Western Inn and American are proud sponsors of McAlester Buffalo Sports, wishing the best of luck to all the players and coaches. Remember, when you need a clean, comfortable room at a great price, think Best Western Inn and American Inn Suites, both located on the 69 bypass in McAlester.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford here in McAlester, and it is Truck Month, and I am so pumped. We haven't had a Truck Month in over 2 years because we just didn't have any trucks. But for this Truck Month, we have specially marked F-150s with 0% for 48 months or 0.9 for 60 on all 22 model F-150s or 3.9% on 23 model F-150s, plus a great selection of used. So come see us while supplies last at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in beautiful McAlester, and let us make it happen for you.
So we head to the bottom of the first inning. The Buffaloes are down 1-0 to the Will Rogers Ropers. It went error, sack bunt, ground out to lead to a run. As we have the top of the order coming up for the Buffaloes to begin game 2 for McAlester in the bottom of the first, trying to get that run back and then some. It'll be Ethan Watkins, Seth Sam, and Caden Lesnow for the black and gold. Let's look at the defensive alignment for the blue and gold, the Will Rogers Ropers. You have Mulvaney over at first, Torres at second, Murillo at short, Oropeza at third, Ballou in left, Forte in center, Whitelock in right. In the battery for the Ropers, it's Trevino behind home plate and Murillo on the mound. A couple of weird things with us being Yankees fans, Nate. Saying Torres at second and saying Trevino behind the plate. Did you just now realize that?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a Yankee fan as well, you probably know that Jose Trevino plays catcher for the New York Yankees. Gleyber Torres plays second base for the New York Yankees. And right now Torres is playing second for the Ropers and Trevino behind the plate for the Ropers.
If only.
Not the same players, obviously. But again, the Ropers leading the Buffaloes 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Ethan Watkins went over 3 in the previous game against the Ropers with 3 strikeouts and a hit by pitch. He's trying to turn things around here in game 2 and flush that. Again, he came into today batting .300 with a .464 on base percentage. And if you get him on base, watch out. He'll still second and then still third. First pitch, shows bunt, pulls back as that one travels about 55 feet and bounces into the catcher Trevino for ball 1. Get McAlester with a 17-0 win over the Ropers. Back in the previous game, scoring 10 of the runs in 1 inning. The 1-0. This will be a fastball missing low outside, and the count moves to 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes for Ethan Watkins. The pitch, he swings hard at this one, but fouls it off at the plate. And the count is now 2-1. Murillo bringing a little bit more velocity, I'd say, than Torres did. He's somewhere right in between Mulvaney and Torres, I'd say, when it comes to his velocity. 2-1, but he also brings a pretty good curveball to be able to mix up the timing on his pitches. So here comes the 2-1. Showing bunt and getting it down is Watkins, but straight to the pitcher Murillo, and the throw is over to first in time to Mulvaney for out number 1. So that brings up the shortstop, number 15, Seth Sam. Buffalo's trailing 1-0, bottom of the first inning, here in the second game of our doubleheader. Sam in the previous game went 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. Also walked and reached on an error. Third baseman Oropeza kind of hugging the line, now gets a little bit further away, even with the bag. First pitch to Sam, fills the zone for strike 1. Wind continues to blow hard out to left field. Lights have been on over here in McAlester for a little while, but again, sunset not until 7:35 today. The 0-1 will miss down low with a fastball, and the count is now 1 ball, 1 strike.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. In the bottom of the first.
Caden Lesnow on deck. The pitcher for today went 0 for 1 in the previous game with a sac fly. The windup and the 1-1 to Sam. Will be a fastball missing upstairs for ball 2. Sam, of course, the winning pitcher in the previous game, went all 5 innings, including striking out the side to end the game in the top of the 5th. He ended up having 8 strikeouts to 1 hit, 1 walk by Sam. That puts him at 32 strikeouts to 7 walks on the year. The 2-1. fouls this one off into the sea of concrete, and the count moves to even at 2-2.
Hope that doesn't hit someone's car.
I think we've already had two different locations. I think in Bigsby a car was hit. And, of course, we had one, I think, in the game against Oklahoma. This is the first home – well, these are the first home games for McAlester. Do we have interference? It was interference. Yeah, that's what Seth Sam was saying. He looks over at Coach Dixon, and Dixon was wondering what was going on. He hit the catcher's glove on that foul attempt. So that's catcher's interference. Seth Sam will be able to reach first base. And that's what I think Coach Dixon is telling him. He's saying that if you feel like you've hit the catcher, kind of just, tell him, hey, I think I made contact with that glove right there. And now he's kind of explaining what to do and what the plan is around the base paths right now. Is Coach Yates speaking with the home plate umpire. It was a late call, but Coach Mullins spoke about it, and then Sam says, I'll take my base over at first. So catcher's interference allows Seth Sam to reach first base. And now Caden Lesnow trying to bring that run across the score. That would be the tying run. Pick off over to first. It's not in time as Sam's back in safely. So on that foul ball, the bat hit the glove of the catcher, Trevino. That's something that happens in Major League Baseball sometimes, as the next pitch will be first one to Lesnow, a bounce into the catcher, Trevino, for ball one.
It's not terribly common, though.
It's not terribly common, but it's not like ultra rare either.
Yeah.
It's something that happens
happens
more often than some people think. As Sam takes off for second, here's a hard hit ground ball just to the left of the shortstop, and it's going to roll all the way over to the fences. There's a diving attempt for it by Forte, but it hits the wall. This might be a triple for Lesnow. The throw hits the cutoff man. Murillo to third, not in time. Sliding in with a triple is Caden Lesnow, and the Buffaloes tie it up. Second triple of the day for the Buffaloes, and it's 1-1 in the bottom of the first.
Love to see it.
Lesnow smoked it right past the shortstop Murillo, and if Murillo is playing in the average positioning there, that goes down pretty much as a hit and run. As Sam was taken off for second, the shortstop collapsed on the bag, which allowed that position over at short to be kind of open. If he's playing even right there, that's an easy ground out. Well, not an easy one because it's still a hard hit by Lesnow. But how hard it was hit, Forte couldn't cut it off over in center field. He had to dive for it, missed it, and it rolled all the way to the fence. And the first pitch over to Gillespie is going to be a high hop. The third baseman will try to go to first instead, and the first baseman, Mulvaney, can't dig it out. Gillespie will reach second base on an E5 here. And the Buffaloes take a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the first. Gillespie swinging at the first pitch. And since he elected to go over to first, and that was only one down and not two, that goes down as an RBI for Gillespie as well. Because he would have advanced home regardless on what happens over at first, so that's still an RBI for Ethan Gillespie.
Beautiful.
He's
10
got
RBIs on the day.
He's got 10 on the day.
Insane.
Yeah, to put that into perspective, Gillespie had 7 RBIs on the season in the first 9 games coming into today. In 5 plate appearances, he has had 10 RBIs.
It's wild.
First pitch to Braden Phillips misses upstairs for ball 1. So Buffaloes retake the lead. They lead 2-1 in the bottom of the first inning. They have gone bunt, catcher's interference, RBI triple, and then reaching on an E5. It's the third error of the day for the Ropers as Gillespie tries taking third, and he will easily. It bounces into the catcher, Trevino. He gave Gillespie a look over at third, so that's not defensive indifference. That is a stolen base for Gillespie.
Just decided not to throw the ball.
And the count is now 2-0.
Not really worth the risk when he's clearly going to make it anyway.
So the difference between catchers or defensive indifference and a stolen base, if the catcher decides to just catch the ball and just throw it right back to the pitcher, never attempted at all to even look over at the runner, as the 2-0 is going to bounce. Great stop by Trevino to move the count to 3-0. If they just throw it back to the pitcher, wasn't even paying attention to the runner, that's defensive indifference. If the catcher at all tries to throw it over to second, gives it a look, like a little bit of a pump fake, anything like that, that's going to go down as a stolen base. So Gillespie gets a steal of third, and the count is 3-0. Here's the pitch. This one will be a curveball, filling the zone for strike 1. Phillips in the previous game went 1 for 2 with an RBI double. He was also walked and was hit by a pitch. Buffalo's leading 2-1 in the bottom of the first with 1 down and a runner at third. Here's the pitch. 3-1 is going to miss down low for ball 4. That pitcher's really close, looking at Murillo, real close to not coming set before delivering the pitch. He looked like he was still kind of tapping his foot a little bit, but came just enough set to be able not to get the ball. And we're going to be having a mound visit here. We'll take a quick 30-second break and be back here on KNED.
Tire and Auto says come meet our new owner, Dylan Hackler. We're a Michelin dealer and we're stocked up with Cooper, Toyo, Hankook, and Max's Buckshot Mutters and Farm and ATV tires. Tire light on, we can fill your tires with nitrogen. We do brakes, alignments, struts, and oil changes too. You'll appreciate our fast, friendly service. All work's guaranteed and estimates are free. OK Tire and Auto, 801 North 1st, McAlester. Call 918-423-2121. Good luck, Buffs. Have a great season.
So a quick mound visit. Runners at the corners for the Buffaloes with 1 down. McAlester leading 2-1 in the bottom of the first for Gannon Mullins. First pitch to Mullins will be a fastball below the knees for ball 1. Mullins went 1 for 4 with an RBI double back in the last game. He is now 5 for his last 10, so batting .500 over his last 3 games. As Phillips takes off for second, this pitch is going to get behind the catcher, but not, well, I would say it is far enough for Gillespie, but wouldn't have had a good jump once he found out where the ball was. So the count is 2-0.
Also, just not worth the risk of losing that runner on third on what only might have been a run.
Count 2-0. And also, that's also a pretty hard line of sight there for Gillespie over at third base. Sometimes you need the help of the batter to tell you to come on or not, but it didn't really get that far away from Trevino. The 2-0. Big cut from Mullins, but coming up empty for strike 1. You know, a lot of people being able to come over here to Mike Deak or tuning in after your day at work. Let us know where you're listening from on Twitter, at Buff Sports Radio. 2-1 is the count to Gannon Mullins. The pitch. This one will fill the zone for strike 2. Murillo barely comes set at the mound, but he comes set. It's pretty close. Runners at second and third here for Mullins, and a 1-run game.
You mentioned that. I'm going to keep an eye on that now.
He comes set, but it's pretty close. Here's the 2-2. It's going to miss outside for ball 3. So full count here, a chance to maybe load the bases for Gannon Mullins. Gunnar Hodgel on deck. He was 2 for 2 with the Rivy in the previous game. The payoff. This one will bounce. Trevino keeps it in front, and that will load the bases for Gunnar Hodgel. This Bases Loaded Alert brought to you by Lindley's Paint and Body Shop. It's a full-service collision repair center and restoration shop in McAlester. Again, I want to go back over to Hodgel. Before his last game, coming into today, 71% of his hits were with runners in scoring position. Coming into today, also had the most hits of any Buffalo with runners in scoring position, batting .417 when he's got a runner at second, third, or both. So 1 down. Buffalo's currently in the lead 2-1 in the bottom of the first inning. Has a chance to really break this inning open as the infield comes in on their infield turf. He pops this one. It might be coming back. It will not. Watch out if you're in the grandstand.
Yeah, because there's no roof out there right now.
There's no roof. They're replacing the roof over here at Mike Deak Field. Coach Mullins told me it was supposed to be done by spring break.
Uh-oh.
We just have a convertible today.
Yes.
So the sunroof is down.
We forgot to put the roof back up.
Right. Count is 0-1. Hodgel trying to get a big base hit here. He had a big one against Stigler back on Wednesday in a similar situation. The 0-1 will miss eye level and move the count to even at 1 ball, 1 strike. At the time, the Buffaloes were down 6-2 to Stigler in the bottom of the 5th inning, had the bases loaded, and he had a big 2 RBI double that one hopped off the wall in left field. 1-1. This one will miss inside, and the count is now 2-1.
You missed the ones were really wild up there. Number 11 up at the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out.
You should have seen what the scoreboard looked like against Cashin. A lot of 1s and 0s. It looked like Morse code.
That's not Morse code.
Here's the 2-1. It's going to be a grounder down the third base line. It's going to be called fair. The throw to the plate is not in time, and it gets past the catcher, which allows the runner to go forward. They're going to say that stepping on third base was Oropeza to get an out, so they tried to get in the double play there. So it's going to be a fielder's choice, actually. for Gunnar Hodgel.
I mean, it's not a bad decision. If the throw's on line, that is a double play.
So it's 5 unassisted. Still counts, I guess, as an RBI there for Gunnar Hodgel on the fielder's choice. It would be the same if he grounded it up the middle and they got the guy out over at second base. So it's still an RBI for Hodgel. 2 down with runners at second and third as he advanced to second on what ended up being an E2. So there's a lot that happened in that play. As the first pitch over to Spencer Stinchcomb misses because the ball got past the catcher Trevino, which allowed Hodgel to get to second. But the throw wasn't there in time for the runner to be out from third to home. So that still gives an RBI. That he wasn't scored because there was a missed ball.
Right.
So there's 4 different things that happened on that one play. The 1-0 is going to fill the zone for strike 1. The count moves to 1 ball, 1 strike. So you had the 5 unassisted for the fielder's choice, but also had the RBI on the ground out, but then reaching second on the E2. So runner at third and a runner at second. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch popped up, might be trouble. In the middle of the field, watch the wind. It will be caught by the shortstop Murillo, and that'll be it for the Buffaloes in the bottom of the first. But they retake the lead as it's 3-1 as we head to the top of the second. McAlester leading Will Rogers here on KNED.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned, because I'm all about keeping my money in our town. I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester is ready to make a deal. All 22-year model Gladiators in stock offer $2,500 cash back. All 22 Chargers and Challengers feature $3,000 cash back. Patriot has new 2023 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Laredos with $5,550 cash back. 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Limiteds in stock, $4,000 cash back. Yes, the best deal on a new vehicle is always at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester.
So Buffaloes take the lead in the bottom of the first inning with a 3-run bottom of the first. We head to the top of the second as it'll be 5, 6, 7 up for the Will Rogers Ropers. Brian Trevino, A.J. Forte, and Cody Whitelock. The Buffaloes so far have 3 runs on 1 hit and 1 error. The Ropers have 1 run on no hits and 2 errors. As now we have a discussion between the home plate umpire and the 2 head coaches, Coach Yates and Coach Mullins. Try to turn up the field mic to see if I could hear any of the discussion, as Mullins and Lussnow are playing catch, trying to stay warm. We're waiting on a batter. We have no batter right now for the Ropers, as Coach Yates has moved his way over to the third base coaching spot. Still waiting on Brian Trevino. He was the catcher in the previous half inning. It's odd. It's taken a little while. Again, the Ropers didn't have the best defensive inning. I didn't know if maybe Coach Yates spoke with his team in between, and it takes a little bit longer for like a catcher to be able to get his gear off. And McAlester does do a good job of being real quick in between innings. Only 60 seconds. We know because of commercial breaks for them to be ready for the next batter. As here comes Brian Trevino, and now we're back and ready to go.
He appeared out of nowhere. I turned my back for 1 second.
Here's the windup, and the first pitch of the second inning is going to be a fastball, strike 1. Trevino went over 2 with a couple of groundouts against Seth Sam in the previous game. 5-3 and a 3 unassisted, so to both corners. The 0-1 fouls it straight back, and the count is now 0-2. To Brian Trevino. Buffaloes with a 3-1 lead. Just now starting the second. The 0-2. Curveball froze him. Buckled the knees. Strike 3. He gives Caden Lussnow a smile, and he's like, man, that's dirty. He'll make his way back over towards the dugout, sit him down, throw it around. 1 down here in the top of the second inning. And while I was over in Idabel during the Southeast Shootout, this brings me up to talk about this as A.J. Forte comes up to the plate. Here's the windup and the first pitch to Forte. It'll be a fastball kind of short hopping into Gillespie for ball one. I had many people tell me about the kind of work that Lesnow did. I mean, he was able to pitch in all 8 2/3. Only threw 116 pitches, I believe, as the 1-0 will fill the zone for strike one. Count now 1 ball, 1 strike. They say he doesn't really overpower a bunch of guys, but he is able to pinpoint his locations, and he's able to throw fastball, curveball, changeup right where he wants it every time he seems to throw a pitch. As the curveball is going to fill the zone again for strike two. And again, people that have never seen Caden pitch before saying, I can't brag enough about how good his curveball is.
I mean, honestly, if it were me,
it's the 1-2 is going to miss down the turf. Thinking about it was Forte, but he lays off to move the count to 2-2.
If it were me, if I were just, say, building a pitcher on MLB The Show, I'd want my pitcher to focus on control and not necessarily all the velocity.
As the 2-2 will be fouled straight back. Now, Lesnow brings plenty good velocity. He's not.
I'm not saying
he's not a 90. He's not a 90-mile-per-hour pitcher though, but he's able to fill into the 80s, and he's able to put his spot, put any pitch that he wants where he wants it. As here comes the 2-2, curveball. And again, that's not a bad spot to try to get Forte to chase. It's a better job of laying off, and the count is now full at 3-2.
Like if you have like a 90 control pitcher or like a 90 overall pitcher.
As the payoff is going to miss down low for ball four. That's just a good AB there by A.J. Forte, and it leads to a walk. Only the 7th one of the year for Caden Lesnow.
If you had like 90 points to put on control and 80 to put on, or you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. You want to put more emphasis on control than you want to put on velocity, because if you can throw 106 miles an hour but you can't spot it, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Ask Geralda Chapman. Runner at first. Here's the pitch. Tries to bunt it, and it's going to be popped up. It's going to be caught by Gillespie. Looks over at first, fires, but not in time. Almost a chance at a double play. A sac bunt attempt was popped up into foul territory and caught by Gillespie, and that will be out number 2. Brings up the second baseman, number 8, Pablo Torres. So runner at first with 2 down. Torres represents the tying run. 3-1's our score. Lesnow, again, of course, working out the stretch with the runner at first. Pretty good lead at first. Pickoff is not in time. Buffalo's in the lead right now, 3-1. Lesnow delivers. Pounds the mitt for strike one. Count is 0-1. No, but I can't tell you. I want to go back to that real quick, though, because I cannot tell you how many people, because they saw all my McAlester gear. They said everybody from Cashin was raving on how well the game that Caden Lesnow pitched on Tuesday. The 0-1 as the runner takes off for second, misses. The throw down to second is, what a shot! Gillespie caught him. Sam applies the tag for out number 3. And that will end the top of the second inning. The Buffaloes gun down the runner to head to the bottom of the second. 3-1 our score. McAlester in the lead here on KNED.
Tire and Auto says come meet our new owner, Dylan Hackler. We're a Michelin dealer and we're stocked up with Cooper, Toyo, Hankook, and Max's Buckshot Mutters and Farm and ATV tires. Tire light on, we can fill your tires with nitrogen. We do brakes, alignments, struts, and oil changes too. You'll appreciate our fast, friendly service. All work's guaranteed and estimates are free. OK Tire and Auto, 801 North 1st, McAlester. Call 918-423-2121. Good luck, Buffs. Have a great season.
Do you think this is far enough? Customers aren't going to be able to make that. Did you say further? No!
Come shoot for your TTNL during Fenton Madness and a lot closer than Morgan.
Have you ever thought about playing college basketball? Too easy. Don't forget to tell them Maddie sent ya. Fenton Nissan is your best deal dealer. Learn more at FentonNissan.com. Do you think this is far enough?
For more than 50 years, First Realty has helped the residents of McAlester and the surrounding area with their real estate needs. Whether residential or commercial, First Realty will guide you through the process of buying or selling your home or business. You can view our property inventory online at first-realty.net. And if you're into pickleball, the Pickle Palace is open. For membership information, call 918-424-3720 or go to picklepalaceok.com. Since 1952, W.E. Alford Propane has been your source for propane and petroleum products, both residential and commercial. W.E. Alford Propane serves eastern and southeastern Oklahoma, with locations in the Eufaula area, McAlester, Shakota, Wilburton, Hartshorn, and Muskogee, just to name a few. If you need propane or petroleum products, there's only one number to call, 918-423-3121. Call today. W.E. Alford Propane, serving the area for 70 years.
Heading to the bottom of the second inning, the Buffaloes are in the lead 3-1, trying to increase it as it'll be the 9-1 two batters up for the Buffaloes. And actually, it's not Lauerman up at the plate, it is Tyler Phillips. So Tyler Phillips up to the plate for the McAlester Buffaloes. The initial lineup that I had Lauerman at the 9-hole, as here's the first pitch to Phillips. Is going to be a softly hit line drive, kind of two-hop over to the shortstop. Murillo throws on the run, but not in time. It'll be an infield single for Tyler Phillips, as he'll be on the base paths. So I think Tyler Phillips is actually batting for the left fielder, Jackson Lauerman, and that brings up the top of the order. Ethan Watkins tried laying down a bunt for a hit. Ended up being a 1-3 ground out. Runner at first is, again, Tyler Phillips. Pickoff over to first. Sliding in safely is Phillips. In 3-1, McAlester leads. For Tyler, he's now got 2 base knocks in 2 games that he's played in district play. Had a big double nearly off the walls. He takes off for second here. A swing and a miss for strike 1. Trevino thought about throwing over to second, but decides to give it back to his pitcher Murillo as Phillips gets into scoring position. The count is 0-1 here for Watkins. Watkins, one of the best bunters on the team. 0-1 here on the junior. And the pitch. Be a fastball outside corner, strike 2. Watkins trying to bring home Phillips. Bring him around third and 2 home. The count is 0-2. Trying to get his second RBI of the season. The 0-2 is going to hit him. Hit him on the leg, and he'll take first base on a curveball. Second hit by pitch that he has received today. And now with runners at first and second and nobody out, brings up Seth Sam. It is a bunting situation, but we'll see if Sam actually lays down a bunt because he has gone so far today 2 for 3, but he's reached all 5 times he's come up to the plate. He's reached on a walk, an E5, and then reached on catcher's interference his last time up. Wind has died down a little bit, but it's still nearly blowing the flags off the poles. Here's the first pitch to Sam. That's going to miss inside for ball 1. Just a 3-1 score right now. McAlester trying to get a couple more runs that are on the base paths. It was a leadoff infield single by Tyler Phillips, and then a hit by pitch to Ethan Watkins. The 1-0 as Phillips takes off for third. It's a high hit, line drive, right center field. It will get past the center fielder. This should load the bases as Phillips was retreating back to the second base bag. He'll reach over to third, and that'll go down as an E8. It was hit well, but in position was the center fielder Forte, and it just popped out of his glove. And that is the 3rd error of this game by the Ropers. They only had 2 in the last. And up comes Caden Less now, and if he can do what he did last time, he can get a few RBIs here. He had a RBI triple back in the first inning. Runners at first, second, and third as this bases loaded alert is brought to you by Lindley's Paint and Body Shop. We'll finish this here in just a moment. First pitch to Les now, going to be a chopper. Left side, fielded on the short hop by Murillo. Fires home. It is in time for out number 1. Did not need to apply the tag. He just needs to be stepping on home plate to be able to get that out. And that'll be a fielder's choice there for Les now. 6-2 ground out. Let's go ahead and reread that bases loaded alert. It's brought to you by Lindley's Paint and Body Shop, a full-service collision repair center and restoration shop in McAlester, as the bases are still juiced for the Buffaloes. In 1 down, bottom of the second, infield still in on the infield turf. Gillespie with 10 RBIs on the day so far. First pitch to him. Near his head, it gets behind the catcher. Here comes a run. Easy one for Ethan Watkins, and runners advance 90 feet to second and third. Buffaloes increase their lead to 3 with a 4-1 score. Again, Gillespie had 9 RBIs in the last game, including a 3-run shot for his second home run of the year. (4-1). Buffaloes in the lead. Corner infielder still in on the infield turf. The 1-0 misses outside, and the count moves to 2-0. Buffalo's been able to score these 4 runs, yet they have only recorded 2 hits. Here comes the 2-0. This one's going to bounce in the turf, and the count moves to 3-0. So you've got Les now at second base and Sam over at third. Les now's kind of making it harder for me to tell if it's him over at second base when he's facing towards me, and I can't see the 2 on his back because he's not wearing the stirrups today. I'm used to him wearing the stirrups. Going with the low pants today. 3-0 count here for Gillespie. He's got the green light. It's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. Murillo bobbles it, picks it back up, throws over to first, and it's too high. It's going to be another error. Here comes a run to the plate. Les now is going to score as Gillespie will stay put over at first. That one's going to go down as an E6. And the Buffaloes score 2 runs on that.
Now batting your first baseman, Mr. Braden Phillips.
And again, that run over at third still counts as an RBI because that would have been out number 2 if that is recorded as an out over at first. So he's got 11 RBIs.
Oh, my goodness.
Despite being 0 for 2 today with a couple of an E5 and an E6. So 6-1 is our score.
0 for 2 in this game, you mean?
0 for 2 in this game. He was 4 for 4 in the last one.
I was going to say, if he went 0 for in both games.
As we had a pitch bounce in the dirt. Good job by Trevino of snagging it. Tried throwing over to first to get Gillespie, but he's back in time. Count is 1-0 to Braden Phillips.
I mean, that would be quite an accomplishment to get 10 RBIs
11.
on no hit.
Yeah.
11 RBIs on no hits.
No, he's 4 for 6 on the day, but 11 RBIs. Gillespie takes off for second. This one's going to be a pop-up. Again, not easy. Right center field. It'll be caught by Forte. Gillespie will retreat back over to first base, and that's out number 2. Bringing up Gannon Mullins. So 6-1, McAlester is leading. They put up 3 runs in both the first and second innings. Mullins on the day is 1 for 4. Again, had an RBI double in his last game against the Ropers. I think, Gannon Mullins did not bat against the Ropers last year. Here's the first pitch to him. Be a fastball outside corner for strike 1. Again, Mullins was, I said it in the previous broadcast if you didn't catch it, struggled to begin the year, but since then has gone on a 3-game hitting streak as Gillespie takes off for second. This pitch is going to be down low. The throw to second is not there in time. Gillespie gets into scoring position as the count is 1 ball, 1 strike here on Gannon Mullins. Again, Mullins 5 for his last 10 with 2 RBIs. Has a chance to bring in a run from second base. Murillo looks at second and delivers the 1-1. This one will skip past the catcher Trevino, and Gillespie will take third on a passed ball. We've already seen him take home on 1 pass ball before. Not often do you see that. Sometimes you don't score from third over here at Mike Deak Field on the pass ball, and Gillespie's been able to score from second to go home.
That is wild.
On that 1 pitch. That was against Broken Bow, I believe, on a Saturday.
I think that's right.
I think that was a Saturday game against Broken Bow. The next pitch can be lined right side. Great contact by Mullins, but well foul into the sea of concrete. And the count is 2-2. Twos across the board. Deuces wild here with a runner at third for Mullins. Two balls, two strikes. Buffalo's trying to score that run from third. We mentioned how big runs differential can be. The 2-2, we fouled straight back. We'll do it again at 2-2. Although Bishop Kelly won their first game by 18 and their second game by only 5, their runs differential when it comes to them against Will Rogers is only plus 15. It's not plus 20 because you're cut off after 10. And the next game, obviously, that doesn't carry over. So it would be big if McAlester can run rule Will Rogers twice. As the 2-2, we'll have to wait until the next inning if McAlester can score more runs because there'll be a called strike 3. And we'll head to the top of the third inning with the Buffaloes leading 6-1 after a 3 spot here on KNED.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned, because I'm all about keeping my money in our town. I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester is ready to make a deal. All 22-year model Gladiators in stock offer $2,500 cash back. All 22 Chargers and Challengers feature $3,000 cash back. Patriot has new 2023 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Laredos with $5,550 cash back. 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Limiteds in stock, $4,000 cash back. Yes, the best deal on a new vehicle is always at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester.
So McAlester has put up 3 runs in the first and second innings here in our second game of our district doubleheader. Funny enough, McAlster's 4 district games they played have been 2 doubleheaders, one over Midwest City and one here at McAlester with the Will Rogers Ropers. We haven't gone to Tulsa Rogers since 2018 when my brothers were playing on their senior year.
Wow.
And so it's been a while since McAlster's gone to Will Rogers to play. Again, a couple of years there, they weren't in our district. Tulsa Memorial was instead. We were almost going to go yesterday, but again, of course, field conditions just weren't fit enough to play. So doubleheader here today. Top of the third inning, leading it off will be the 8-9-1 batter, starting off with Pablo Torres. The first pitch to him fills the zone at the knees for strike 1. Torres was up at the plate in the previous inning for the Ropers, but a runner was tossed out on the base paths by Gillespie to end the inning. The windup from Les now on the 0-1 pitch. Fastball catching the inside corner for strike 2 against the lefty Torres. Les now with only 1 strikeout on the Roper so far here. Looking for number 2 as the 0-2 will bounce. Right in front of the lefty Torres, and the count moves to 1-2. I keep on looking at the McAlester baseball flag underneath the American flag. It is about to rip off of that pole.
It really is.
Here comes the 1-2. Just missed the zone. Gillespie thought he had strike 3. He was about to pop up and throw it over to Mullins, but we'll have to do it again at 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. This one's going to be down low. Thinking about it was Torres, but held back. And the count is full at 3-2. And the funny thing is, looking over at the flags in center field, it's died down. The wind has died down a little bit.
It definitely has, but that's not saying much.
The 3-2 pitch missed down low, and that'll be ball 4. So Torres is able to work an 0-2 count back to full and then draws the walk.
Now batting the third baseman.
Third base runner of the day for the Will Rogers Ropers. Well, I say of the day of this game. And that brings up Adele Oropeza. Third baseman number 2. And again, we just have trash blowing onto McAllister's Mike Deak Field like they're tumbleweeds. There's a tissue that's right by the mound right now. First pitch showing bunt, pulling back. It's up high, ball 1. Again, Les now only walked 1 batter against Cashin back on Tuesday through 8 2/3, and that 1 walk wasn't until the 9th inning. He's only walked 8 batters this year, and 1 of them has been intentional. That napkin is going to distract me like crazy as it slowly makes its way past the infield. Les now Comes to a pause, trying to get back in the zone. The 1-0 misses wildly outside, and the count moves to 2-0. So that's now 6 consecutive balls here from Les now as he tries to find it. That time he kind of short-armed it, threw it a little bit slower to try to fill the zone. So now it's kind of in his head here as the 2-0 is down in the turf, and it's ball 3. Had 7 straight balls. And that's something that does stay in a pitcher's mind. So you got to get that strike to get back out of that funk. So here comes the 3-0. And this one's going to miss down low. So it's back-to-back walks. After an 0-2 count to Pablo Torres, it's been 8 straight balls from Caden Less now. And now the tying, when I say that, it's not that way anymore. 6-1's our score. So Caden Less now's got plenty of breathing room here, but you don't want to give the Ropers a chance. Murillo reached on an E7 his last time up. We do have a change to the outfield as it's Hodgel over in left field. First pitch, swinging at one in the turf. After 8 straight balls, Oscar Murillo gives Les now a get-out-of-jail-free card there and swings at one in the turf. That would have been ball 9. So that moves the count to 0-1. Over in right field is Tyler Phillips. So we have had that change for McAllister's outfield. Les now the 0-1 pitch. This one's going to be cut on and missed for strike 2.
Love it when you can try and get people to swing at those pitches.
So trying to get back into the zone, trying to get a strikeout here. Got the count at 0-2. Les now delivers. This one's in the turf. And the count moves to 1-2. But all 3 pitches to Murillo have been low, and he was missing low to his last batter, Oropeza as well, missed low to Torres. Trying to make an adjustment here. The 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. He was actually fouled back into the glove of Gillespie. A slight ping of the bat. And that'll be out number 1. The first time that Murillo has been sat down via the strikeout today.
Now batting for Tulsa, the left
And that is now 1 down in the top of the 3rd inning. Buffaloes have a chance maybe at a double play here to be able to get out of the jam. Runners at first and second for the Ropers. McAllister leading 6-1. Top of the 3rd inning for Will Rogers. Sun trying to peek through over here at McAllister. The pitch. Curveball. It's going to be a bunt over to Les now. Looks over at first. Fires. Catching it is Stinchcomb covering the first base bag for out number 2. But the sac bunt does its job. And in 2 plate appearances for Ethan Ballou, it has been 2 sac bunts. And that brings up Victor Murillo. So the Ropers have a chance to pull this game back within 3 if they can get a base hit here. The lefty Murillo in the box. Here's the first pitch from Les now. It's going to bounce in, and bodying it up is Gillespie. And a reminder that it's going to keep on warming up through the night here. So we started off our day at about 50 degrees at 4 o'clock as here comes the 1-0. Going to be slapped at and caught by the shortstop Seth Sam on some English. When it's a lefty that's hitting the ball like that, it's going to wiggle. It's on its way over towards its defender. Sam hangs with it, makes the catch for out number 3, and the Buffaloes escape the jam, leading 6-1 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd here on KNED.
Best Western Inn and American Lodge and Suites in McAllister are both locally owned and operated. Both offer clean and comfortable rooms at a great price. Best Western Inn and American are proud sponsors of McAllister Buffalo Sports, wishing the best of luck to all the players and coaches. Remember, when you need a clean, comfortable room at a great price, think Best Western Inn and American Inn Suites, both located on the 69 bypass in McAllister.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Fort here in McAllister, and it is Truck Month, and I am so pumped. We haven't had a Truck Month in over 2 years because we just didn't have any trucks. But for this Truck Month, we have specially marked F-150s with 0% for 48 months or 0.9 for 60 on all 22 model F-150s or 3.9% on 23 model F-150s, plus a great selection of used. So come see us while supplies last at Sam Wampler's Freedom Fort in beautiful McAllister, and let us make it happen for you.
Tire and and Auto says come meet our new owner, Dylan Hackler. We're a Michelin dealer and we're stocked up with Cooper, Toyo, Hankook, and Max's Buckshot Mutters and Farm and ATV tires. Tire light on? We can fill your tires with nitrogen. We do brakes, alignments, struts, and oil changes too. You'll appreciate our fast, friendly service. All work's guaranteed and estimates are free. OK Tire and Auto, 801 North 1st, McAlester. Call 918-423-2121. Good luck, Buffs. Have a great season.
Customers aren't going to be able to make that.
Did you say further?
No!
Come shoot for your TTNL during Fitting Madness and a lot closer than Morgan.
Have you ever thought about playing college basketball? Too easy. Don't forget to tell them Maddie sent ya. Fenton Nissan is your best deal dealer. Learn more at fentonnissan.com.
We head to the home half of the third inning when we have a new pitcher for the Will Rogers Ropers. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Jet Tire Service. They offer over 18 major tire brands. See us in friendly Old Town or on jettire.net. Don't fret, call Jet. It's now Andrew Taylor, number 15 on the mound for the Ropers. As he comes onto the mound, Murillo moves from the mound over to third base. Oropeza out of the game for the Ropers. It'll be the bottom of the order up for McAlester, 7, 8, 9, starting off with Gunnar Hodgel, who today is 2 for 3 with a couple of RBIs. He shows bunt, gets it down, backhanded by the pitcher Taylor, throws over to first, and making the catch, having to go into foul territory for it, was the first baseman Mulvaney, but in time for out number 1.
Now batting for your Buffalo, second baseman Spencer Stinchcomb.
And that brings up Spencer Stinchcomb, who flew out to short his first time up in this game. He is looking for his first hit of the day. He has reached base safely twice with a couple of walks in the previous game. Buffaloes are leading 6-1 in the bottom of the third inning, nobody on. They've scored in every inning that they've come up to the plate in so far, as the first pitch nearly belts Stinchcomb along the belt, and that will miss inside for ball 1. So again, we started this game 30 minutes early. It was supposed to begin around 6:30, started at 6, as this next pitch will fill the zone to Stinchcomb for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Buffaloes have only recorded 2 hits going into the third inning. They have made the most of, looks like 4 Will Rogers errors so far. Working out the stretch, Taylor, the 1-1. Will skip in to the catcher Trevino, and the count moves to 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Stinchcomb ready. Taylor toes the rubber back once more. And delivers. This one will fill the zone outside corner again for strike 2. Both trying to get on the base paths here. Hodgel started off the bottom of the third with a bunt out over to Taylor. The 2-2 will be lined over towards left center field. Already playing very deep was the left fielder Ballou, who comes in to make the catch for out number 2. If he's playing an average positioning over in left field, that's going to go down as a double, maybe even a triple there for Spencer Stinchcomb. But already playing, I mean, when Ballou is standing, he's starting off on the warning track. And maybe that's smart with the way that the wind's blowing today.
Yeah.
But it allowed him to be able to make that catch as well. And that brings up Tyler Phillips. So the Ropers trying to go 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the third inning with the Buffaloes leading 6-1. First pitch to Phillips. He'll foul it off for strike 1. Phillips reached on an infield single back in the second inning. It was a leadoff single as well. Taylor trying to be the most effective pitcher so far for the Ropers. Here comes the 0-1. This one's going to be a line drive into the outfield again. Nice piece by Tyler Phillips, and he's 2 for 2 on the day. And now the Buffaloes trying to get something done with 2 down as that brings up Ethan Watkins. Watkins is 0 for 1 with a bunt out. Bunted out to the pitcher at the time, Murillo, and he's been hit by a pitch as well. So runner at first, Tyler Phillips. He stole second and stole third last time, so I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to take the second base back here. Let's see if When Taylor does try to hold him on, he picks off over to first, not in time, as Phillips is back in safely. Tyler Phillips, the son of Jared and Stacy Phillips. His favorite movie, Tombstone.
Can't say I've ever seen it.
You got to watch it. First pitch up to Watkins is going to miss for ball one. And you missed that play because our camera tried to nosedive into the table.
No, tried to do a backflip.
1 ball, no strikes. Pick off back over to first, and Phillips is back in safely. It just wanted to catch you, Nate.
I guess so.
You have to tighten up the handle. The handle is what you're looking at.
That makes no sense.
So you might want to loosen what you've been trying to tighten because you can't really go left or right with it then. Here's the next pitch. It's going to be swung on and missed for strike one. Count moves to even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
I will get caught up, folks. I promise. I've never seen that happen on this, though.
No, I've never seen a camera try to do a backflip. That's a first. Runner at first. Speaking of first, with the count 1-1 here for Watkins. Tyler Phillips takes off for second. This pitch is going to be popped up sky high. Tough play in foul territory as it will land in no man's land. The second chance here for Watkins. Again, no one was going to have a play even if that was a sunny day with no wind at all because it was right in between the third baseman and shortstop, both last name Murillo and the left fielder Blue. And the count is 1-2 here on Watkins. Buffaloes are in the lead 6-1. Would really like to get some more runs here. Starting off with Phillips. Took off for second his last time up. We'll see if, the last pitch, we'll see if Taylor picks off over at first here. As Phillips catches his breath and takes the lead. Taylor delivers the 1-2. Goes with the off speed. It bounces over to the catcher, Trevino. He picks it up. There's no play at second. Is sliding in safely. Will be Phillips, and the count is even at 2-2. And that's a case of he's not stealing. Phillips is just reading the ball in the turf. He saw it was about to bounce. If you can read it well, you can get a great jump, and that's what Phillips did. Now the count 2-2 here for Watkins. Once again, trying to get a run to come across home plate to score. The 2-2 pitch. Fouling it off will be Watkins straight to the backstop. Count will remain at 2-2. The next game for McAlester is scheduled to be Thursday in Latta. We'll see if that happens as there's supposed to be some storms moving into the area. The 2-2, Phillips takes off for third. It's a swing and a miss for strike three, and that will be out number 3. And that will be the end of the third inning. So for the first time today, the Buffaloes don't score in a half inning. Good job by Andrew Taylor on the mound out of the pen. The Buffaloes lead 6-1 as we head to the top of the fourth inning here on KNED.
For more than 50 years, First Realty has helped the residents of McAlester and the surrounding area with their real estate needs. Whether residential or commercial, First Realty will guide you through the process of buying or selling your home or business. You can view our property inventory online at first-realty.net. And if you're into pickleball, the Pickle Palace is open. For membership information, call 918-424-3720 or go to picklepalaceok.com. Since 1952, W.E. Alford Propane has been your source for propane and petroleum products, both residential and commercial. W.E. Alford Propane serves eastern and southeastern Oklahoma, with locations in the Eufaula area, McAlester, Shakota, Wilburton, Hartshorn, and Muskogee, just to name a few. If you need propane or petroleum products, there's only one number to call, 918-423-3121. Call today. W.E. Alford Propane, serving the area for 70 years.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned. Because I'm all about keeping my money in our town, I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We've played 3 full innings. The Buffaloes leading the Ropers here on Game 2 of today's district doubleheader. As we head to the top of the 4th inning, 6-1 our score. It'll be the middle of the order up for the Will Rogers Ropers, starting off with Jared Mulvaney. Mulvaney grounded out to the shortstop, Sam. His last time up. Here comes the windup, and the first pitch to Mulvaney will be a high pop-up, deep right center field. Watkins following it as it wobbles up in the sky, and he'll snag it for out number 1. We've been talking about how pop-ups are not easy plays at all today, and Watkins makes the catch in right center field for out number 1. First pitch, first out. That's what we call efficiency there for Caden Lesnow, and that brings up Brian Trevino. And honestly, I think that is the first fly out today for the Will Rogers Ropers.
How?
They have not flown out until that fly out. That brings up Brian Trevino. First pitch to him. Ground ball up the middle. Fielded on the short hop by Stinchcomb. Throws over to first in time for out number 2. That is 2 pitches and 2 outs here for Caden Lesnow.
Let's go 3 for 3, shall we?
We'll see if it happens. A.J. Forte comes up. Walked his first time up. He is 0 for 2 on the day with a couple of strikeouts in the previous game. Lordy, I would love to see a 3-pitch inning. First pitch to Forte. He swings. It's a line drive over to right field. Phillips coming in. He makes the catch, and it's a 3-pitch inning. A 3-pitch inning for Caden Lesnow on a fantastic grab by Tyler Phillips in right field. And we'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Buffaloes leading 6-1 here on KNED.
Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester is ready to make a deal. All 22-year model Gladiators in stock offer $2,500 cash back. All 22 Chargers and Challengers feature $3,000 cash back. Patriot has new 2023 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Laredos with $5,550 cash back. 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Limiteds in stock, $4,000 cash back. Yes, the best deal on a new vehicle is always at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester. Best Western Inn and American Lodge and Suites in McAlester are both locally owned and operated. Both offer clean and comfortable rooms at a great price. Best Western Inn and American are proud sponsors of McAlester Buffalo Sports, wishing the best of luck to all the players and coaches. Remember, when you need a clean, comfortable room at a great price, think Best Western Inn and American Inn Suites, both located on the 69 bypass in McAlester.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford here in McAlester, and it is Truck Month, and I am so pumped. We haven't had a Truck Month in over 2 years because we just didn't have any trucks. But for this Truck Month, we have specially marked F-150s with 0% for 48 months or 0.9 for 60 on all 22 model F-150s or 3.9% on 23 model F-150s, plus a great selection of used. So come see us while supplies last at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in beautiful McAlester, and let us make it happen for you.
So we just had the shortest half inning that you can possibly have. There was 3 pitches and 3 outs by the Will Rogers Ropers the last time in the top of the 4th inning. A fly out to center for pitch 1, a ground out to second for pitch 2, a line out to right for pitch 3. 3-pitch inning. I don't know the last time I've seen that. Now, I do know as we have, we'll talk about it coming up in just a moment, but as we have up to the plate, Seth Sam, 2-3-4 batters against Sam, Lesnow, and Gillespie for the bottom of the 4th inning. McAlester leading 6-1. Again, we'd like to see another big 4th inning like they had in the previous game to be able to possibly get a chance at a run rule victory when they head to the top of the 5th. But Andrew Taylor, great out of the pen in the last inning. Tries to do it again here. As this one's going to be a high pop-up, center field, straight center field, over the wall! Solo shot for Seth Sam. Get up, fly high, be gone. Right past the foul poles. Right past the flag poles, and that will make it 7-1.
Took that one for a ride.
Saw the first pitch that he liked and hammered it into oblivion. And that'll bring up Caden Lesnow. What a shot for Seth Sam. Second home run hit of the day for the Buffaloes. The other one, a 3-run home run by Ethan Gillespie, who's on deck. So Lesnow will Hammer this one to deep left center field. It's carrying towards the warning track, and it is going to hit off the top of the wall. Les now goes to second. He rounds it, trying for third, and he will get there sliding. He's got 2 triples today, and he was about 5 feet away from back-to-back jacks on back-to-back pitches.
I really thought we were about to see it.
And now Ethan Gillespie comes up. 7-1 our score here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2 pitches that were absolutely taken for rides, one by Seth Sam. That you still need to reset your watches because it was hit into a different time zone. And now Ethan Gillespie. I guess you can't say that anymore because your Apple Watch or whatever watch you have just automatically does it.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you actually had to set your watches. Here comes the first pitch to Gillespie that's going to miss up high for ball 1.
I mean, I still have to do it with my car, if that.
That's true.
If that counts.
So I
for
guess you
anything.
still have to reset your clocks at least. Gillespie has had an RBI on each plate appearance that he's had so far today. He's got 11. Here comes the 1-0. He hits this one. He's going to have another one. Deep right center field. Might be caught. It will be by the right fielder, Whitelock, but here comes Caden Less now for a sac fly. He's got 3 RBIs in this game, and the Buffaloes go up 8-1. That brings up Braden Phillips. Phillips 0 for 1 in this game, walked and flew out to center field. Buffalo's back on the scoreboard after going scoreless in the 3rd inning. We've had a lot of action here on minimal pitches.
Yeah.
First pitch to Phillips is going to bounce in the turf for ball 1. Going back to the top of the inning, there's only been 2 pitches that have not been made contact with, have not been put in play. And it was the first pitch to Gillespie and that bounce in to Phillips right there. We had 3 pitches for 3 outs in the top of the 4th inning. As this one's going to be line drive right center field, and it's going to land for a base knock. Great piece by Braden Phillips, and he's on the base paths. So how many? We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've had 9 pitches combined between Lesnow and Taylor in the 4th inning, and we've had 4 outs, 2 runs, and a runner at first on 9 pitches for the inning. As that brings up Gannon Mullins, 0 for 1 in this game. First pitch to him, he's going to foul this one back, and that'll be strike 1. You know, they actually did a study, and they said how many actual minutes of game time, like time, how many minutes of game time do you actually do things in baseball compared to like football? Mm-hmm. I think baseball, it's actually higher than football, as they did a study. As there's going to be a pickoff over to first, sliding in safely is Phillips. I think they said it's about 5 minutes more for baseball than it is football. You don't ever think it because you're doing a lot of stuff in between standing around, but talking about actual time that you're doing something, more time for baseball than football. The 0-1, miss low and outside, and getting over to second will be Braden Phillips with the slide. Count 1 ball, 1 strike here to Gannon Mullins. That's not taking anything away from football, but it's to say there's a lot of action that still happens in baseball, and we've been seeing a lot here in the 4th inning. But you never think about it when it comes to baseball because you think of it as, oh, you're standing around waiting for the next play to happen. As here comes the 1-1. Misses inside the home plate umpire. Did like a Michael Jackson shuffle behind home plate. That moves the count to 2 balls, 1 strike. McAlester up 8-1. They need 3 runs to get into run rule territory. Taylor looks back over at second and delivers. This one will miss up high, and it'll be ball 3. Two balls, 1 strike.
3-1.
Oh, excuse me, 3 balls, 1 strike. I looked up at the scoreboard here at Mike Deak, and then forgot to look at the actual count. Here comes the 3-1. Runner takes off for third. This one's going to be a pop-up. Might come back. Mulvaney tracks it down, makes the catch.
Nope.
Did he not? It's right here in our blind spot. Couldn't make the catch.
I had to look at the field umpire.
So he was in the area but could not snag it right along the fence line over here to the right side. And it was in that blind spot where we really can't tell. So now the count is full for Gannon Mullins, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, down this right field line, basically in all foul territory, we can't see.
3-2. Once again, Mullins fouls off another one to the right side. Well out of play. This one into the parking lot. And it is still full at 3-2. Buffalo's trying to keep it moving. And there'll be a look over towards second as Phillips has tried taking third a couple of times, but he's keeps on having his teammate Mullins foul him off. Goes for third again. This one will be a high hit, fly ball, deep right center field. Might be tough. And on the run, Forte makes the catch. And once again, it'll be Phillips retreating back to the second base bag. And that brings up Gunnar Hodgel. That's really close for Mullins of making, he made solid contact, but he's just a little bit underneath it, and that's what lifted it up in the air. If he's a little bit further on top of that ball, that's going to go into the alleyway for extra bases. But 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. McAlester is leading 8-1. Here's the pitch to Hodgel. He'll swing and miss at strike 1. In this game, he has grounded out to third for an RBI. He's also laid down a bunt for an out as he was trying to bunt for a base hit. The previous game went 2 for 2 with the sac fly RBI. He's got a runner at second. Great jump by Phillips. Here's the pitch. Called strike, throw down over to third. Gets past the third baseman, and here comes Phillips trotting home. Buffaloes lead 9-1. And now 2 runs here for the Buffaloes. Gives them a chance to be able to run rule, and if they can't get it here in the bottom of the 4th, to go to the top of the 5th, because we got to go to the top of the 5th no matter what. If they can hold the Ropers scoreless in the top of the 5th inning, they can possibly walk it off. That's also going to go down as an E2 there on that play. So Taylor delivers the 0-2 to Hodgel, and this one will be fouled straight back. The count's still at 0-2. 9-1, McAlester scored a 3 spot in the 1st, 2nd, and 4th innings. The 3rd inning, Taylor faced 4 batters. He was able to get 3 of them out. Here comes the 0-2. Goes super slow. This one's going to be popped up, landing foul, and it will stay that way. That one looked more like an ephus pitch from Andrew Taylor.
Yeah.
He really tried changing up the timing. And good job of Hodgel staying patient, trying to keep his weight back as long as possible, and was able to foul it off and live another pitch. The 0-2 from Taylor hits him right between the unos. And that will send number 11 over to first base. Gunnar Hodgel with the hit by pitch. Bringing up Spencer Stinchcomb. Stinchcomb represents the run rule territory run for McAlester. 9-1 they lead with a runner at first and 2 down. Stinchcomb has flown out to short and flown out to left field. He made excellent contact on his last time up, but again, just better positioning by Ballou is able to make the catch and keep Stinchcomb off the base paths. First pitch to Stinchcomb is going to be missing down low. Trevino is able to get it on the hop. Try throwing over to first to Mulvaney, but not in time, as sliding back in was Hodgel. Count 1-0. Good lead over at first, and they'll try picking off over to Hodgel. It gets wide of Mulvaney, and Hodgel will take second base, and that'll go down as an E1. So now another runner in scoring position here for the Buffaloes. The Ropers played a pretty clean game in the last game. They only had 2 errors, and today, in this one, our second game, I think that might be 7. I'll have to tally them up here in just a moment. Have to re-up my tally. 1 ball, no strikes to Spencer Stinchcomb with the runner in scoring position. First pitch, rather the next one, it's going to be popped up in the infield, tailing towards foul territory. Murillo at third will make the catch for out number 3, and we head to the 5th inning with the Buffaloes leading 9-1 over the Will Rogers Ropers. We'll take a break and be right back here on KNE.
Do you think this is far enough? Customers aren't going to be able to make that.
Did you say further?
No!
Come shoot for your TTNL during Fitting Madness and a lot closer than Morgan.
Have you ever thought about playing college basketball? Too easy. Don't forget to tell them Maddie sent ya. Fenton Nissan is your best deal dealer. Learn more at fentonnissan.com.
For more than 50 years, First Realty has helped the residents of McAlester and the surrounding area with their real estate needs, whether residential or commercial. First Realty will guide you through the process of buying or selling your home or business. You can view our property inventory online at first-realty.net. And if you're into pickleball, the Pickle Palace is open. For membership information, call 918-424-3720 or go to picklepalaceok.com.
We get to the top of the fifth inning. The Buffaloes in the lead 9-1 over the Will Rogers Ropers. Trying to keep it going here. Les now has let his defense work a little bit more here today. He has struck out 2. He has walked 3. And if you look in the hit column, you find something kind of empty here. I have to mention it because of people listening on radio, but that is the case. So we have coming up to the plate. That's as much as I'm going to say. Absolutely. We had the bottom of the order coming up for the Ropers. Cody Whitelock, Pablo Torres, and Adele Oropeza, but I think we might have a new batter, and that might be Andrew Taylor. It's the first pitch into Whitelock. Some catch the outside corner with the fastball from Les now for strike 1. So already we're going to throw more pitches in this inning than he did in the last. Here comes the 0-1. It'll be swung on and missed for strike 2. You know, a 3-pitch inning for Caden Les now. Back on the top of the 4th inning.
Can't do much better than that.
Doesn't happen very often. Here's the 0-2. Curveball swing and a miss for strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Got him on a nasty curveball. Now be out number 1. Sit him down, throw it around. 1 down here in the top of the 5th.
I mean, you know it would be fitting after a 3-pitch inning.
Don't mention it, because I was thinking the same thing, too.
I'm not mentioning it. I'm just throwing it out there to you.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Here's the windup and the pitch. Ground ball won't happen, though. Be fielded by Les now. Grabs it and throws over to first to Phillips in time for out number 2.
Now we can say it.
He was talking about maybe a 9-pitch, 3-strikeout inning.
Or what they call an immaculate inning.
An immaculate inning, yes. And that brings up Andrew Taylor. Batting for Adele Oropeza.
I mean, your mind had to go there, though, right?
It did, absolutely. And you know, I've actually played in a game where both has happened in the same game.
That's wild.
First pitch catches the knees with the fastball to Taylor for strike 1. Happened in the same game. Josh Donato was pitching, and I'll never forget Adam Boyd's reaction in center field. Here comes the 0-1. And I don't think it was back-to-back innings. I think there was a couple of innings in between, but it went 3-pitch inning. And then that was like the 2nd inning. And then the 5th inning comes around as here comes the 1-1 from Les now. Curveball that misses inside for ball 2. 5th inning comes around, and it's 9 pitches, 9 strikes, 3 strikeouts. And I remember Adam Boyd just running, and we're all thinking, whoa. Adam Boyd runs in from center field, and he says, what the heck is going on? He's losing his mind. As the 2-1's going to be a soft line drive right side, but out of the reach of Braden Phillips, and the count moves to 2-2. But we were all just thinking, this is the weirdest set of innings that I think we've ever played. And I remember him going nuts. Donato was trying to play it cool, but he's like, nah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Clint Barnett and Adam Boyd were just losing their mind. It was cool. Obviously, we were winning in that game. Here comes the 2-2 from Les now. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Gets away from the catcher Gillespie. He'll have to throw over to first. He will do so a little bit low, but Phillips grabs it for out number 3. Of course, that was the year, going back to the year for Boyd and Barnett and all them, and Donato went to the state semifinals that year. Buffaloes are currently in this game leading 9-1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning with a chance to possibly walk it off if they can get a couple of runs. They'll have the 9-1-2 batters coming up. Phillips, Watkins, and Sam on the way here on KNED.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned. because I'm all about keeping my money in our town. I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester is ready to make a deal. All 22-year model Gladiators in stock offer $2,500 cash back. All 22 Chargers and Challengers feature $3,000 cash back. Patriot has new 2023 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Laredos with $5,550 cash back. 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Limiteds in stock, $4,000 cash back. Yes, the best deal on a new vehicle is always at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester. Best Western Inn and American Inn Lodge and Suites in McAlester are both locally owned and operated. Both offer clean and comfortable rooms at a great price. Best Western Inn and American Inn are proud sponsors of McAlester Buffalo Sports, wishing the best of luck to all the players and coaches. Remember, when you need a clean, comfortable room at a great price, think Best Western Inn and American Inn Suites, both located on the 69 bypass in McAlester.
We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. McAlester looking for 2 runs to put this one away. It'll be the 9-1, 2 batters up for the Buffaloes: Tyler Phillips, Ethan Watkins, and Seth Sam. Again, of course you want to be able to maybe, I don't know if you're not really saving pitching because you're not going to be able to have Les now or of course Sam pitch later on this week. I think they'll have to wait at least a day. I don't know where their pitch count is right now, but not really saving pitching, but you want to be able to get those run differential. You want to be able to get your 10 runs and get out of there. So Tyler Phillips, 2 for 2 on the day so far, will watch this first pitch be popped up. Shallow left field. It's a long run for Ballou, and it will be a dangerous play, but caught by the center fielder Forte instead, as we had 3 fielders all converging on the same location. Nearly a dangerous situation there. And Coach Yates telling the outfield, you need to speak up. And that brings up the top of the order. So Watkins in this game 0 for 2 with the hit by pitch. He has bunted out and struck out swinging. 9-1 McAlester leads. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be a high hit fly ball carrying towards deep center field. Forte towards the warning track. This one's going to leave the yard. Solo shot for Ethan Watkins. The second of his career, dead center. Get up, fly high, be gone. Buffaloes lead 10-1.
You could tell that one was going the second it came off his bat.
How do you erase an 0 for 5 day with an exclamation point? What a shot for Watkins. The 3rd home run hit of the day for the Buffaloes. One of the other three batters for McAlester that's hit one, Seth Sam. Can he walk it off and do what he did in the last at bat? First pitch to Sam is going to catch the outside corner for strike 1. The McAlester dugout gave Watkins the silent treatment and then waited until the last second and then all celebrated around him. The count is 0-1 to Sam. Here's the 0-1. This one's a high hit. Fly ball, deep left field, towards the foul pole it goes. Is it gone? It's foul. Left the yard, but just foul. Nearly walked it off, literally, and the count is 0-2. One of the best situations that you can have to, as a batter, just up there free and easy, have a little bit of fun with it. Your team's up by 9. You still want to be locked in, but chance to get a walk-off without the pressure, really, I'd say. Count is 0-2. The pitch, this one will miss low outside, and the count now 1-2. Sam has reached safely in every plate appearance that he's had so far today in the 2 games. The 1-2, this one will be fouled straight back. The count remains at 1-2. In the first game, single walk, single reached on an error. In this game, catcher's interference reached on an error and a solo home run, just to the left of the flagpoles in center field. The 1-2 to Sam. Hard hit ground ball left side past the diving glove of the third baseman Murillo, and it's a one-out single for Seth Sam, and he continues to have that on-base percentage at 100. The ball gets away from the fielder. Throw over to second is not in time, sliding in safely. So advancing over to second on the throw, Seth Sam, and that'll bring up Caden Lesnow. A pair of triples in this game, and wouldn't it be fitting if the guy that is in line right now for a no-hitter and a win can walk it off too? No hits by the Ropers, and the winning run at second base for Caden Lesnow. The pitch. This is up above the letters, ball one. I've never wanted a walk-off hit by a player so much before, by a single player. Usually I don't care who does it, but boy, would it be pretty cool for Lesnow to do it. You can't 1-0. Runner takes off for third. The pitch, high. There'll be no throw over to third. Count is 2-0 for Lesnow. I know that the win is the most important thing for McAlester. How they get it doesn't matter, but it would be a pretty cool moment if Lesnow can do it. 2-0. Catches the very top of the zone, and I'll move the count to 2-1. Lesnow on the day is 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. The 2-1 pitch. High hit, fly ball, center field. This will do it. Forte is going to drop the ball, but it won't matter. It's going to be a walk-off for Caden Lesnow as he's making his way over towards third base. It'll make it 11-1, and that caps the no-hitter for Lesnow, who walks it off. Buffaloes win 11-1 behind a no-hit game from Caden Lesnow, and he's also the one that walked it off with a fly ball to center field. Final score, Buffaloes 11, Ropers 1. Ladies and gentlemen, Buffalo fans far and wide, grab that brush and paint that win column black and gold. We'll look at your final stats when we return. You're listening to McAlester Baseball on KNED.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned. Because I'm all about keeping my money in our town, I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester is ready to make a deal. All 22-year model Gladiators in stock offer $2,500 cash back. All 22 Chargers and Challengers feature $3,000 cash back. Patriot has new 2023 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Laredos with $5,550 cash back. 2- and 3-row Grand Cherokee Limiteds in stock, $4,000 cash back. Yes, the best deal on a new vehicle is always at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester. Best Western Inn and American Lodge and Suites in McAlester are both locally owned and operated. Both offer clean and comfortable rooms at a great price. Best Western Inn and American are proud sponsors of McAlester Buffalo Sports, wishing the best of luck to all the players and coaches. Remember, when you need a clean, comfortable room at a great price, think Best Western Inn and American Inn Suites, both located on the 69 bypass in McAlester.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Fort here in McAlester, and it is Truck Month, and I am so pumped. We haven't had a Truck Month in over 2 years because we just didn't have any trucks. But for this Truck Month, we have specially marked F-150s with 0% for 48 months or 0.9 for 60 on all 22 model F-150s or 3.9% on 23 model F-150s, plus a great selection of used. So come see us while supplies last at Sam Wampler's Freedom Fort in beautiful McAlester, and let us make it happen for you.
Tire and Auto says come meet our new owner, Dylan Hackler. We're a Michelin dealer and we're stocked up with Cooper, Toyo, Hankook, and Max's Buckshot Mutters and Farm and ATV tires. Tire light on? We can fill your tires with nitrogen. We do brakes, alignments, struts, and oil changes too. You'll appreciate our fast, friendly service. All work's guaranteed and estimates are free. OK Tire and Auto, 801 North 1st, McAlester. Call 918-423-2121. Good luck, Buffs. Have a great season.
Welcome back to Mike Deak Field here in McAlester, Oklahoma. The Buffaloes take down the Will Rogers Ropers in a combined score in 2 games of today's doubleheader of 28-1. And that one run that was given up by McAlester was unearned, as it was a no-hitter for Caden Lesnow in 5 innings. That is our second no-hitter that we have had this year. We had a no-hitter against the Midwest City Bombers. Seth Sam threw that one. Caden Lesnow throws one today, even though he gives up a run. He didn't have it earned against him. It was in the first inning, and since then, let his defense work. He struck out 4 batters, walked 3. Again, 1 error by McAlester that led to that unearned run. And also, what made it even sweeter for Lesnow, he walked it off in the bottom of the 5th inning, hit the fly ball to center field. It didn't matter if it was going to be caught or not. Forte, it was deep enough to be able to score the run from third, which led to McAlester winning at a final score of 11-1. And we had some home runs in this game, too. Pretty good day for McAlester baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think there's anything you can complain about.
No.
Like, in any aspect.
I mean, that one error, maybe, but that's about it.
I mean, that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Well, let's go ahead and let's look at our post-game stats. Brought to you by Beautiful Rooms Furniture. They offer brand-name high-end mattresses, including hybrids sold at discount prices. Visit their showroom today for quality furniture at affordable prices. Starting off with the visiting team, the Will Rogers Ropers. Oscar Murillo reached base, and he was the one that ended up scoring for the Ropers. He reached on an E7, came around to score in the first inning. He also struck out on a foul tip back to the catcher, Gillespie. Ethan Ballou had 2 sack bunts, so he officially went 0 for 0 on the day. Victor Murillo went 0 for 2 with the line out to short. Jared Mulvaney went 0 for 2. Brian Trevino 0 for 2. A.J. Forte went 0 for 1 with the line out to right and a walk. Cody Whitelock went 0 for 2. Pablo Torres 0 for 1 with a walk. Adele Oropeza went 0 for 0 with a walk and the 9th spot. And Andrew Taylor batted for him last time up. He struck out on a drop third strike. Between Victor Murillo, who receives the loss for the Ropers today, and Andrew Taylor, the Ropers ended up striking out 2 McAlester batters in the second game, walked or hit 4. The Ropers, of course, no hits for Caden Lesnow, who throws the second no-hitter of the year for the McAlester Buffalo pitching staff. 7 errors by the Ropers in the second game. The Buffaloes improved to 7-4 and now 3-1 in district play. Watkins went 1 for 3 with an RBI on a home run to center field. Seth Sam went 2 for 3 on a home run to center field. Also had that RBI off that bomb. Caden Lesnow walked it off, but going 2 for 4 with a ribby. And unfortunately, he doesn't get the second RBI since that last play was an error. So he doesn't get the RBI on that, unfortunately. Ethan Gillespie goes 0 for 2 with 3 RBIs. He grounded out twice. Well, he would have. It was an error on both those plays, but he does get credit for the RBI on those 2, and then had a sac fly. Braden Phillips 1 for 2. Gannon Mullins 0 for 2. Gunnar Hodgel 0 for 2 with an RBI off of a ground out. Spencer Stinchcomb went 0 for 3. Tyler Phillips 2 for 3 with a pair of singles, one an infield single, and the other one a line drive to left field. Buffaloes totaled up 8 hits. They struck out 4 for Caden Lesnow, 3 walks, 1 error by the Buffalo defense to lead to that 11-1 win for McAlester. So the next game for the Buffaloes is set to be on Thursday against Latta. That's supposed to be in Latta. Now, at first it looked like we had a heavy chance of rain on Thursday. It's still plus 50% at 60%. But it's been going down. It originally was at 90%. It's gone down to 60%. So if that keeps on trending down, then possibly we'll have a game on Thursday. If not, then our next game will be next Monday in Durant, taking on the Lions, rivals by the Red River, for another district matchup. Again, our next home game will be a week from today, no matter what, unless Latta wants to play McAlester and maybe they got too much rain on Thursday and they want to move it over to here. That's the only way that could change. You never say never to anything in baseball. People can make changes. You never know where you might be at any certain time. So, again, McAlester wins today 17-0 in the first game, 11-1 in the second. There was only one hit in those 2 games by the Ropers. So great job by Seth Sam and Caden Lesnow of the McAlester Buffalo pitching staff. And also combining for, that is 19 hits today for McAlester. Not too shabby at the plate for the black and gold. So, again, we also want to recommend everyone to come out to the game on April 8th against Pryor. That will be Alumni Day. So after you watch McAlester baseball play against the Pryor Tigers, which should be another great game, then you can watch a not-so-great game but laugh your butts off as you're going to see a bunch of old has-beens try to play baseball on Saturday. There'll be batting practice first, and then it will be the actual game. I will be partaking in the festivities, so I'll be going from the broadcaster's booth down to the field to play in Alumni Day on April the 8th. It also happens to be my birthday.
I was going to say, a certain someone's going to be playing on their birthday.
That's for sure. I'm still wondering if we should video stream that game. We might. I don't know. It depends on who I can get to run the board. If you're going to be there on the weekend, then you feel free to do so. But, again, that's a couple weeks from now, so we'll see what happens. But, again, that's going to be happening on April 8th. For the game against Pryor is going to be at 1, and all the festivities happen after that. But, again, final score here, though, today, McAlester wins 17-0 and 11-1 in a no-hit fashion and walk-off fashion by Caden Lesnow in the second game. Can you thank our sponsors one final time, and we'll wrap everything up?
I'd like to thank the Bank & A, Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Best Western American, Freedom Ford, OK Tire and Auto, Fenton Nissan, First Realty, and W. Offered Propane.
All right, and thank you to our board operators for today, Mr. Wyatt the Cadillac Kid Hubbard for our first game, and Austin Sweetwheat for our second game, covering them back over the KNED studios. Until Thursday, as of right now, when McAlester travels to Latta to take on their opponent in another edition of McAlester Baseball. This has been Brandon Green along with Nate Brown saying, Buffaloes win, and don't just have a great night. Have a Buffalo night, everybody.